The dog game is dying. Let's talk about the game first, not the dogs. It's the challenge of the wins, the competitive addiction, the thrill of the win, and the rewards of achievements. Losing only gives you the drive to come back. I learned to watch the winners, my motivation was there, my dedication was evident, now I'm a winner. The problem is the cheating to win, manipulating the truth, and then it's the all-out liars. How is this sharing our achievements with liars, cheaters, and bullshitters? We have lost the historical value of the dog game. We can't decipher the real from the fake, the lost is the cost. So I salute these dogs of going hard kennels for all that you've given me in the game.
Let's talk about pit bulls. The history, the breeding, the maintaining and feeding, and the controversies surrounding the great hunts. Come interact with the legends, and ask questions, and listen to their stories as we talk about kennels and dogs of the past and present. Hosted by one of the game's most respected kennels, with over 40 years in the hunt, going hard kennels Twin 1 and Twin 2, dogs like Champion the Debrat, the very first champion off Grand Champion Mayday, the Dog of the Year, and Register of Merit. Champion Pretty Mama, 2-time Best in Show and 2-time Gamest in Show. Going Hard's Bay Bay, Register of Merit, Damn to Champion What a Day, Champion Gus, Champion Elrod, Champion Yellowbird. So pull up a seat, and let's talk dogs.
The dog game is dying. Let's talk about the game first, not the dogs. It's the challenge of the wins, the competitive addiction, the thrill of the win, and the rewards of achievements. Losing only gives you the drive to come back. I learned to watch the winners, my motivation was there, my dedication was evident, now I'm a winner. The problem is the cheating to win, manipulating the truth, and then it's the all-out liars. How is this sharing our achievements with liars, cheaters, and bullshitters? We have lost the historical value of the dog game. We can't decipher the real from the fake, the lost is the cost. So I salute these dogs of going hard kennels for all that you've given me in the game.
Let's talk about pit bulls. The history, the breeding, the maintaining and feeding, and the controversies surrounding the great hunts. Come interact with the legends, and ask questions, and listen to their stories as we talk about kennels and dogs of the past and present. Hosted by one of the game's most respected kennels, with over 40 years in the hunt, going hard kennels Twin 1 and Twin 2, dogs like Champion the Debrat, the very first champion off Grand Champion Mayday, the Dog of the Year, and Register of Merit. Champion Pretty Mama, 2-time Best in Show and 2-time Gamest in Show. Going Hard's Bay Bay, Register of Merit, Damn to Champion What a Day, Champion Gus, Champion Elrod, Champion Yellowbird. So pull up a seat, and let's talk dogs.
The dog game is dying. Let's talk about the game first, not the dogs. It's the challenge of the wins, the competitive addiction, the thrill of the win, and the rewards of achievements. Losing only gives you the drive to come back. I learned to watch the winners, my motivation was there, my dedication was evident, now I'm a winner. The problem is the cheating to win, manipulating the truth, and then it's the all-out liars. How is this sharing our achievements with liars, cheaters, and bullshitters? We have lost the historical value of the dog game. We can't decipher the real from the fake, the lost is the cost. So I salute these dogs of going hard kennels for all that you've given me in the game.
Let's talk about pit bulls. The history, the breeding, the maintaining and feeding, and the controversies surrounding the great hunts. Come interact with the legends, and ask questions, and listen to their stories as we talk about kennels and dogs of the past and present. Hosted by one of the game's most respected kennels, with over 40 years in the hunt, going hard kennels Twin 1 and Twin 2, dogs like Champion the Debrat, the very first champion off Grand Champion Mayday, the Dog of the Year, and Register of Merit. Champion Pretty Mama, 2-time Best in Show and 2-time Gamest in Show. Going Hard's Bay Bay, Register of Merit, Damn to Champion What a Day, Champion Gus, Champion Elrod, Champion Yellowbird. So pull up a seat, and let's talk dogs.
The dog game is dying. Let's talk about the game first, not the dogs. It's the challenge of the wins, the competitive addiction, the thrill of the win, and the rewards of achievements. Losing only gives you the drive to come back. I learned to watch the winners, my motivation was there, my dedication was evident, now I'm a winner. The problem is the cheating to win, manipulating the truth, and then it's the all-out liars. How is this sharing our achievements with liars, cheaters, and bullshitters? We have lost the historical value of the dog game. We can't decipher the real from the fake, the lost is the cost. So I salute these dogs of going hard kennels for all that you've given me in the game.
Let's talk about pit bulls. The history, the breeding, the maintaining and feeding, and the controversies surrounding the great hunts. Come interact with the legends, and ask questions, and listen to their stories as we talk about kennels and dogs of the past and present. Hosted by one of the game's most respected kennels, with over 40 years in the hunt, going hard kennels Twin 1 and Twin 2, dogs like Champion the Debrat, the very first champion off Grand Champion May Day, the Dog of the Year, and Register of Merit. Champion Pretty Mama, two-time Best in Show and two-time Gamest in Show. Going Hard's Bay Bay, Register of Merit, Damn to Champion What a Day, Champion Gus, Champion Elrod, Champion Yellowbird. So pull up a seat, and let's talk dogs.
The dog game is dying. Let's talk about the game first, not the dogs. It's the challenge of the wins, the competitive addiction, the thrill of the win, and the rewards of achievements. Losing only gives you the drive to come back. I learned to watch the winners, my motivation was there, my dedication was evident, now I'm a winner. The problem is the cheating to win, manipulating the truth, and then it's the all-out liars. How is this sharing our achievements with liars, cheaters, and bullshitters? We have lost the historical value of the dog game. We can't decipher the real from the fake, the lost is the cost. So I salute these dogs of going hard kennels for all that you've given me in the game.
Let's talk about pit bulls. The history, the breeding, the maintaining and feeding, and the controversies surrounding the great hunts. Come interact with the legends, and ask questions, and listen to their stories as we talk about kennels and dogs of the past and present. Hosted by one of the game's most respected kennels, with over 40 years in the hunt, going hard kennels Twin 1 and Twin 2, dogs like Champion the Debrat, the very first champion off Grand Champion May Day, the Dog of the Year, and Register of Merit. Champion Pretty Mama, two-time Best in Show and two-time Gamest in Show. Going Hard's Bay Bay, Register of Merit, Damn to Champion What a Day, Champion Gus, Champion Elrod, Champion Yellowbird. So pull up a seat, and let's talk dogs.
What up? What up? What up, everybody? Y'all know what time it is. It's Hog Shit Tuesday. What up? What up? First thing I want to do is thank everybody for showing up tonight. Big shout out to everybody out there in the Shark Tank. Big shout out to all my people out there on the back street. You know, don't you forget to hit them like buttons, y'all. Let me give a shout out to all my people in the house. You see here. I gotta excuse us, man. You know, end up working late. You know, these hot summers down here in Florida, they rough on the man. Got me out later than I'm supposed to be. I'm getting too old for this shit. Big shout out to my main man, Mr. Chico Nicholas in the house. What up, fam? JoJo Bloodthirst, number one, aka Happy 360. What up, fam? What up, fam? Let me give a big shout out to my man. Big shout out to my man. King Yoda in the house. What up, fam? What up, fam? Big shout out to my man. Big shout out to my man. Poor Mike in the house representing. What up, fam? Big shout out to my man, Mr. Relay. What up, fam? Big shout out to the man, Doctor. I see you, fam. Big shout out to the insane Honey Badger. Yo, what up, fam? Big shout out to my man, Mr. William Torres. What up, fam? Big shout out to Pitwise Kennels. I see you, fam. Union County in the house. What up, fam? Hey, first of all, before I get started tonight, I want to give a big shout out to my man. Hold on 1 second here. Let me see. 1 second, y'all. Okay. Yeah, I was getting that feedback coming back through there, getting on my nerves, you know what I'm saying? Hey, but look, I want to give a big shout out to my man, the Mad Doctor. I was listening to the show and he seemed like he was kind of upset with me, said I kicked him off the show and everything. You know, it ain't like that, fam. We was trying to move on, you know, if things get out of hand. I don't want you to be mad at me. You know, I represent the D to the fullest. No disrespect to your fam. But if I hurt your feelings in any type of way, man, accept my apology. Just trying to be real. Tonight we're gonna be trying to have a real conversation, you know what I'm saying? Because today while I was out on the job site, I tuned in to my man BUCKCITY. You know, and he made some really, I mean, first of all, it was a good show. Big shout out to BUCKCITY. And you know, Buck, he made, you know, it's not too well, I'm not gonna say we always agree to disagree. But Buck makes some very good points. And being I was on the job site, I couldn't really call in and base my opinion, but I did. I sat and listened through the whole show. But some of the things that he was saying, they made some damn good sense. And I mean, it was very educational because a lot of things that he says, he was saying from his point of view. His years in the game, his understanding of what and how he sees and feels the game. And there's a lot of things that Buck was saying that I find us saying. You know, and when the person is trying to help you and tell you something and come at you in a passionate way, when I say a passionate way, they don't, you know, deter from who they are when it comes to making their points. And they say it with true passion, and it's believable because they're speaking it from the heart, and I felt it. And I'm going to go over some of them things tonight. You know, and I'm going to let Mo take over because Mo's going to dive in. And he's going to make his points. You know, and Mo's a little different type of animal than I am. Let me give a big shout out to my man, Hooch Kennels in the house. I see you, fam. Alligator Only Kennels. What up, fam? What I wanted to, you know, Mo, he's just that other, you know, Mo has this certain way of doing things when it comes down to like the breeding programs, you know, his feeling about things moving forward. You know, a lot of people have to understand that when you've been in this game as long as some of us have and doing the things that we do, just based on experience, I can relate to a lot of things that some of you guys say. And today I related to a lot of things that my man Buck was trying to get across. And what's funny is I put that link out there because I feel that I didn't get a chance to chime in, but I want to see just how many people be willing to have that same conversation, you know, with me and Mo. Big shout out to my man, Mr. Courtney Edwards. I see you, fam. Because I noticed a lot of people had a lot of things to say. And I'm not saying I'm disagreeing with what other people say. You know, it's not about disagreeing. It's about like everybody has a certain way of doing things. And that part you got to just accept as human beings, and especially in this dog game. A person can tell you 1,000 times how to do something, but out of them 1,000 times, you're gonna probably only do what they're trying to get you to do maybe once out of that 1,000 times. And that out of the whole entire time of doing things the way you wanted to do, the one time you decided to do what they was trying to get you to do, everything turned out right. The key to all this shit is you have to make your own decisions and own your own decisions. Like, comment that we, if me, like us, if we go buy a dog, well, let's take our dogs, for instance. When our proteges and some of these other people actually got a chance to get our dogs. Now, remember, we told y'all we were never open to the public. We didn't sell dogs. We gave away a lot of dogs, but yeah, we did. When Mo came to get out of the game, I told y'all he sold off a lot of dogs. But let's think about this. As long as we've been doing this show, and we talk about some of our dogs before I get to our proteges, think about the people who actually came from way out on the West Coast, way from the Caribbean islands, way from over in, I think that was China, to come and buy our dogs. Think about that. These weren't people around us. These were people from all over the country that came to buy them dogs. Now, considering that we don't sell dogs, remember, Black Ice's been on the yard. VBK's been on the yard. Graveyard been on, who were they? I can't see them, but the people who had on Graveyard, they was on the yard. All these people came and got dogs. Now think about, like, Brat was sold for $25,000, you guys. Bebe was sold for $10,000. Pups were being sold at $25,000. It was like a fire sale. And people came, but you got to understand, there was a lot of people who were coming to the yard prior to that fire sale. Think about it. How did Mark Davis, Mad, wind up with our dogs? How did Jamie wind up with our dogs? Because the relationship that you have with certain people, you kind of got to look and understand that when you put those dogs out there, you have to put them in responsible people's hands. That was the first thing. Because if you're going to take and spend $25,000 on the dog, you're going to want to get your worth out of that dog. Is that dog worthy of being spending $25,000? Well, I remember I told y'all about Queen of Hearts, right? Before the Abrahams bought that dog, they told me they was going to go buy that dog. I didn't know who she was. But they spent good money on that dog, and they went and got that dog. Think about the people who spent, like, Proset bought, I think it was May. Think about that. He spent a good piece of change on that dog. They spent a good piece of change on Barracuda. They spent a great piece of change on Luke Kane. When somebody says they want something for their dog, that's their right based on what that dog is worth to them. And for the man who spends that money on that dog's worth is to the buyer. Now, me as a seller, we really didn't care what they did with the dogs when they spending that kind of money. But you got to really pay attention to the kind of people that were spending that kind of money. And the people who spent that kind of money, if you look through history, their names are going to be titled on that dog. You know, a lot of people think Tom was crazy for buying NASCAR for over $70,000, but think about it. That's a lot of money. Got to put put yourself in that man's shoes and ask yourself, what the hell? Why would I spend that kind of money on a dog? Well, we have to first look at the person. Well, I can see why Tom would spend that kind of money. Tom would go out there and buy some off your damn yard if he wanted bad enough to keep his program moving right. But Tom's a breeder. Did you notice all the people I named that came and bought our dogs weren't just breeders? So they take your dogs, they spend the money. Now it's up to them to go and do what they want to do with those dogs. Our proteges got made to. Our proteges had access to our kennel partner. So, of course, they were supposed to have good dogs. Yeah, they stayed private too. Now, you ask yourself, now, can you consider them as being breeders? Even though they didn't sell to the public? Even for us, we didn't sell to the public, but does that mean we weren't breeders? I know y'all heard this say this plenty of times. Most say it plenty of times. We do not breed to anything other than champions and grand champions. Now, that's a box man telling you how he's breeding his stock. He's still a breeder. They still put in that work. They still clearly put in the work to understand why they're breeding to what they're breeding to. He'd be dead serious when he said, we stop and be looking at why we finna take this bitch over here to that male. Yeah. He don't be saying that just to be saying that. These are the reasons why we were using everything on our yard. This was, we don't have a certain bloodline. All we can tell you is based on the way our breeding program was set up, these group of dogs became going hard dogs. It wasn't like we was representing any type of bloodline. It wasn't representing the Mayday over here messing with Stone City and Hardcore Mike. And some of the other people that, if you notice, just all the champions and grand champions that we've had the ability and the people we've met over the years done with these dogs. But one thing we all had in common, fellas, for them to come over and buy them dogs, if you just pay attention, what happened to them dogs, I can show you based on what history says, these people went and used those dogs and made something out of those dogs. So dogs that we bred, dogs that we created, should have been able to get in those people's hand and do the same thing for us, for them, as it did for us. History shows you. So, who does that fall on? Could just anybody who took them same dogs and did what those people were able to do? No. They could have got the same type of dogs, the same dogs personally, and still go mess it up. Because having a dog didn't mean anything if you didn't know what to do with it. We told y'all in our very beginning when we did this, where things fell apart for us, the lack of knowledge. We actually had the dogs, but didn't know what to do with them. The dogs were that good that we really didn't know we didn't really have to know what to do with them. Just, I mean, look at this, how the shit we was put them in shape. Told y'all the story. I ain't trying to go back over it, but it's no damn well, jumping in, putting them in the water and having them swim and walk and all kinds of crazy shit, running outside the car, all that crazy shit, thinking we was doing something, had no idea what we were doing. But because of the quality of the dogs, it still didn't change the job that the dogs had to do. That's when you're dealing with good dogs. Because even and I hate to say it, y'all remember Noriega got beat? But if he had stayed in the man's hands that made him a 4-time winner, I really believe Ajax would have, lost to Noriega. But because you changed, and remember, money bought Noriega. Money bought him. If I was going to spend that kind of money, why wouldn't I let the man who made him a 4-time winner make him a 5-time winner? But now he's my dog. See, those are the things that, y'all have to look at. The dog can be about that life, but you got to put a lot of the blame on the person who got the dog. I heard a comment today that everybody has their certain opinion on how they do dogs. Okay, maybe that's the new opinion, the new opinion kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? I never looked at it like that, because if you don't have the knowledge to do the right thing with it, who are you gonna blame when it don't go right? Because you don't know enough to blame yourself, so you have to blame somebody else, because you're always gonna have that self-gratification is the dog wasn't shit. You gotta remember how many times Mayday was bred and all the people who had the damn dogs, but then I hear people talk about, well, I seen a Mayday dog get beat. Listen here. You should have been that one around when them 15 was out here whooping ass, and we would have, you would have seen what a real Mayday dog looked like. Not that other watered down shit that y'all wound up seeing all out there, and everybody, I seen this Mayday dog. See, you ain't seen none of my Mayday dogs. You ain't seen none of, the real shit. Because if you had seen the real shit, you would have been one of those part of that real shit lost column. See, that's the part when I be hearing those little crazy things. Remember, I've heard people say Zebo wasn't shit. Oh, he wasn't no producer. So when I hear things like that, I'll just look at it like, well, if you really pay close attention, and just we ain't no rookies at this, you just go back and try to understand why everything that we ever bred, you could always go back and see Zebo. Wouldn't give a damn if it was 8 generations back. They're going to go find that Zebo. My thing is understanding why. At what point did it seem like we stopped being breeders, man? It's clearly that we were box men, but at what point were we supposed to stop being breeders? Yes, we were them breeders that was using our own shit. No, we were not the first to do it. Got to remember. Look at the people that we was hanging around. The only reason we was the first to be dealing with the Stone City Mayday situation because we just tried to tell y'all. They probably would have did that long before us doing it because we had both dogs on the yard, but that's how bad them two camps couldn't get along. The fact is, when they on our yard, nobody's going to tell us what we're going to do with the shit that's on our yard. That should make sense to everybody out there. So that takes care of that situation about somebody sell you, you got somebody's dog on the yard and they think they're going to dictate and tell you how to do what you're going to do with your dog on your yard. And get mad about it, but what can you do about it? As grown men, that's the way we looked at it. That's your problem. That don't become our problem. Last time I checked, these dogs is on our yard. I was down with Mo. Man, damn what they saying, man. Nobody gonna tell me what to do with my dogs. We're gonna put these motherfuckers together. You know what I'm saying? So when you start looking at that situation and ask yourself, well, really, you know, are twin and them, were they really breeders? How many times Mo was unsaid this, man, we weren't breeders. Because we really wasn't. If we was really concerned about our breeding program, think about it. If we was really concerned about our breeding program, we wouldn't have been matching as many dogs as we was matching. Breeding was secondary. You know what I'm saying? If you think about it, you know, history will show you what our background looked like when it comes to our litters. Didn't need many, we just needed the right ones. See, everybody has their own opinion on what a good dog look like. I'm gonna give everybody that, you know. But remember, we come from an era of you keep that cocky way of thinking, but we gonna definitely find out. That's what the game been built on. That's what really led up to matches. You thought you had a better dog than I did. You think you see something better than, you know, different than what I see. Well, we can always find that out, and you know that's what led to the people climbing over the wall. Every dog on our yard was bred off the yard. You know what I'm saying? Understand where I'm coming from. So it's just one of them things where when Buck was talking about that section, hold on, I'm going to play this part right here, just to Where you get away with that? Hold on.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Mo stopping in. I wanted to reiterate on something right quick while he was saying all that. Only dogs that was bred on the yard, you will find that was not a champion would be made to. Everything else I bred to off the yard was a champion or a grand champion. Always happy. If it's, can y'all hear me? Okay. Now what I was saying was we didn't breed too many males on the yard, except for Maytu, and we didn't breed Maytu much. Maytu got bred after he kind of left the yard, but only dogs that really got bred was females, and they were always being bred to a champion. You'll see most of every one of my breedings off the yard was bred to a champion or a grand champion. No, you went to put something up? Oh, that's all I wanted to say. Anyway, no, you had your time. You were doing good. But yeah, man. Our breeding program always, we didn't have a breeding program. If you notice, Mama had one litter, Brat had really two litters. Brat had two litters, one back to Mayday and one to Maytu. The only litters we ever got out of Brat. The only litters we got out of Pretty Mama when we bred the champion Beetlejuice, when we bred it, and we bred the Barracuda. Other than that, she didn't never have that. The other one was Naya. We bred the Naya. We bred Naya, and we bred her the champion Twisted. We had Sir Kale. We bred Sir Kale. We bred Sir Kale to Buck Rogers. We had the Shit. We bred the Shit on the yard. We bred her to Buck Rogers. All were winners. The only male outside of those winners that got bred was Maytu. Maytu was bred to Brat, and he was bred to Bebe. Got a champion out of Bebe, and got a daughter off of Brat and Maytu that produced the grand champion. I didn't think the numbers is better when you come to expectations. I can tell you about champions that we bred Sassy Girl to that clicked, and I can tell you some that didn't. I can tell you I bred to Luke Kane to Brat, and the reason why we didn't have no puppies off of that, you know, it wasn't because nothing I did.
And be authentic and true to that. You be fake and just follow the trend of your thing.
Stop. You know, other than that, you know, we stuck to that. And my KP was the same way. We did not breed unless we bred on the yard. And actually, one of the dogs, you do it. Well, you can take them. No, other than that, let me just finish out. Other than that, when we showed them the Stone City Mayday dogs, we invited Jesse, Big Mike, and we had a show. The show consisted of us taking a son off of Maytu bred to Grand Champion Satan on the bottom. And he was on that card. That's how and it was on our card. Actually, it was on the card with us. And we won Best in Show that night. So they got a good delight. They had a chance to see the Mayday Stone City pups, and they seen a son off of Maytu win Best in Show that night. So, hey, I'm going to get that back to Mike, man. I just had to throw my 2 cents in before y'all got off the subject, and I would be trying to tell y'all something and it didn't matter. So I'd be trying to catch y'all while I be listening. So I'm going to give this back to Mike. Anybody got any questions when I jump back on, let me know. I'll be following, watching.
Y'all don't forget to hit that link down there. Don't forget to hit that link down there. I'm going to play this right quick because remember I told y'all about this. I'm going to jump on Mo's computer over here right quick here. And we're going to run this like this. Here we go. What's that time on that there? 150. Here.
This is where they hear you up and trying to get to the future too fast to where, man, if you get this dog, and you time, and you get that, for one, that offspring gonna be any good producer-wise. If you would have bred them to something else, it could have got something way better. I think a good dog is opinion. It's an opinion. Every dog could be a good dog from any breed.
Did more than once to get it.
Y'all hear, and if you listen closely, based on what he said, I heard Buck say, Because I said, Not every dog is going to be or have what it takes to do this. Not being disrespectful, but for me, that's a green comment. That's a comment that I look at. You're going to be going through a lot of things if that's the way you're thinking. Because we always talk shit about you out there feeding that shit, you're taking chances with it and everything, and you're thinking like that. You know how many bulldogs you go through with that thought? Where is the progression going to come from? How is it that everybody can't get a champion? Everybody can't get a ROM. everybody can't get a POR or grand champion or even have anything close and been doing this shit for 20, 30 years. Because it's that mind frame, and their opinion is why they can't, and why a lot of them couldn't. But let me pick this up again. I just wanted to comment on that.
Yeah, like that. Can I say somebody say like a proven producer? Like it gotta be a producer with any bitch, in my eyes.
I mean, mute this shit.
But he don't want any
I mean,
bitch.
I mean,
He don't
yeah.
want any bitch. He got the bitch on his yard.
Like, if
I'm
you
talking
got-
about-
let's say you
But like,
and you just don't do well. I would hold it.
you bring the one bitch or two bitches, and he produced good on one litter and he don't on the other, and you go ahead and move forward with that first litter that he did produce good on. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that shit skip generations. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna stop that right there because let me explain something to y'all fellas. The way you hear that conversation, it's like this shit happens overnight. Do you know how long it actually takes to find out if that decision that you made was a good or a bad decision? Do you know how much time and money that you haven't invested as you're waiting? That's like you're guessing. You know? And if that's the approach that you're taking, you're not going to understand that decision based on your approach until years later. At least 2-3 years, because at 12, 13 months, I mean, I don't know what they was looking for. I don't know what you're looking for out of a little dog like that. Remember, we checked our yard, but we didn't check our yard until it was time to check the yard. It's all about giving them all a fair chance. No dog is better than the next dog. Remember, the only way that you keep a chain space is the day gonna come that you would have to prove yourself. You're fixing to earn the chain space.
So are you trying to say that makes him not a good breeder?
A lot of dogs.
No, I'm just saying. What I'm saying is, I think that the proof, like it was a comment about the proven producer, but the proven producer, it got to be able to produce with anything.
How many of y'all out there, put a 1 in the chat. I want to see if y'all listen. How many of y'all out there believe that statement, that a proven producer will produce with anything? I'm gonna give y'all time to catch up on that. I need to see them ones in the chat to see how y'all feel about that statement. Because my personal feelings on that statement is, if that was the case, and you gotta remember, we had some, we kept some the bitches on the yard that would produce. But why would we waste a time with a female by just going to just put anything back her up to anything? Why would we do that? Look at the time that you fixing to take. She's got to have the puppies. You got to raise the puppies, and 3 years down the line, that's how long you're going to take to find out that you ain't got shit. And are you fixing to blame it on the bitch based on the decision that you made? See, that's where it all goes bad for me, because if you really believe that you can back a bitch up to any male and you're going to get something, then to me, that's green shit. Now, as crazy as it might sound, I'm gonna let Mo jump in there right quick here, Mo.
Oh, what I was saying was, I was telling Mike, don't forget, we bred Sassy Girl to Little Buck, and she wasn't even a year old. It was her first heat. We rebred Little Buck to Sassy Girl, and she came up with Bebe and Buck Rogers in there. It was that first breeding that we did with the Mayday Stone City Cross. She was like 11 months old. She was basically 13 months old when she had her first litter.
I remember now, Sassy. You know, Sassy, she was a brew bitch. Baby became the brew bitch. Mama became a brew bitch. If you take a look at some of the other kennels, Stone City had Awesome Baby. Think about that statement that he just made, and think about when them guys was breeding these brood bitches, backing them up to these males. Was they thinking about the males like they was just any dog, or was there a purpose or why they was backing them up? Because Mo always would say, pay attention, fellas. You need to ask, why did they take that bitch and breed to that male? But this is the conversation that I be looking to have, because I be wanting to know. I want to know when I hear these type of statements, get it to make sense to me, to where you're not just talking. I want to see it. I want you to give me an example. It's easy to say that type of shit, but it's hard to listen to. Let me go back in here. Go back in here. Okay. Okay, let me get this out the way.
Not just on your yard. In my eyes, In my eyes, yeah. I feel like.
Let me do this last one. I got one more to do here. Let me get this up here. 156.
You stick to it, man, and you hope that that's the right decision at the end. You know, the world's is changing.
In them times of trouble, or in them times that I may think I know everything. Somebody may have a whole different vision on what you looking at that may help you, but you don't know if you don't tap back in. It's there, man. It's just at the end of the day, a lot of people, a lot of fuck shit. A lot of bitch ass shit, a lot of hoe ass nigga, a lot of I'm a man, an island of my own. That shit don't work. You dig what I'm talking about? The greatest of the great had partners with them, man.
Yeah, that's a fact.
It's a brotherhood, bro.
It's a brotherhood, brother. Correct.
Shit, we talk to each other every fucking day.
You stick to it, man, and you hope that that's the right decision at the end. You know, the world's is changing, and I know as much as it changes, to be authentic is the only value you have, because you can't possibly shape shift to what the world is doing. If that's the case, motherfuckers will have fingernail polish and everything. Like, I'm noticing, like, this shit is becoming more and more right. So your only value that you could have is motherfucking being original and authentic.
All right, fellas. That right there, big shout out to Buck. Because he's right. I like the way he said it. I like what it meant. And then, the authentic part. Being real with people. Being real with yourself first. That holds a lot of you know, it carries and goes a long way, especially when you out here trying to help somebody. Like, he's telling you something that y'all hear over here. You know, and that's why a big shout out to Buck. Because what he's saying, he's telling you this from experience, fellas. He ain't saying this shit because of something that he heard. You know, in order to understand what that man is saying, you got to understand the man. That's how I look at it. You know, he's telling you based on experience. He's been breeding dogs for years. That's all I'm saying. You know, I don't know his format and how he does what he does, but we all have our own way of things and what we do. But when it comes down to it, he's saying something that we always say. And he was addressing something in his way of addressing what he was hearing. And I got one more that I'm going to tap into before I turn this back over to Mo. Okay, hold on 1 second here. Let me get back to this thing right here. That's it, 319. Y'all know I mean, I'm just learning this program here, so I'm doing it Jack move way, you know what I'm saying, y'all? So y'all bear with me here.
I got you. I'm pulling them up right now.
All right, let's talk about some shit.
Let's talk about some shit. Fuck with you, bro.
Let's talk about some shit now. So, because we just was talking, and you know, we was talking about breeders and, you know, different shit. So, would you consider a person that just breeds the dogs just for him and doesn't let any out a breeder?
Nope.
Somebody got background popping. That must be
You don't let none out. Is he using them? Is he using them for himself?
Yeah, he's using this for his purpose, whatever he's using them for. If I got a bunch of dogs and I just breed them for myself, am I considered a breeder? Like, he could use them. So. He could use them for whatever he use them for, right?
But they good. They good though.
I don't think it matters.
They could be great. Yeah. They could be trash. They could be great. I don't think the quality has to do with the.
I would say he's a breeder.
You'll say he's a breeder?
I would say he's a breeder. He ain't giving his stuff out to nobody, but he breeding them.
That's
there's
nuances.
I call him using them.
And he breeding.
If you was going to a breeder, wouldn't they have something available?
Absolutely.
Not necessarily.
I think so. I think for you to be a breeder, somebody else has to get your product and stand on it and say, yeah, that guy right there is one of the best fucking breeders in America. His dog's always this and his dog's always that. I think that solidifies a person as a breeder.
But okay, that's nuance. I get it.
Maybe if he only get one out, it don't matter. If he get one out.
But let's just say, like Buck said, I got 100 dogs. I done bred 100 dogs. And when I take them out, they work and they good. Now you coming to ask me for my shit. I bred it. I don't want to give it to you for whatever reason. It could just be selfish. You did what I'm talking about, that I just want the dogs to die with me. But I still got 100 of them on my yard. So whether you like it or not, or whether I gave anything to anybody, I am absolutely a breeder.
I think that guy who keeps his dogs is just a selector.
Open to the public.
It's just selectively breed for shit that he likes. So that's not a breeder. I think he's just selectively breeding for what he wants. You know what I'm saying?
What if he pushing the game for it and he getting better and better dogs doing it?
How is he getting better and better dogs when they nobody using them but him. But when ain't nobody using them but him. Yeah, he probably improving it, but nobody's getting it. So how is he? How is that better in the breed?
No, that's what I'm saying.
They getting it, but they getting it in the form of losses.
But even if somebody
okay. I see what you're saying, cuz.
All right, fellas. That was the other part. Now, I spoke on that earlier. I'm gonna just turn that over to Mo because Mo cringes when he hears that type of shit. Buck made a great point. Doesn't matter what you're using it for. What I mean? It really don't matter. What the people on the outside think when it comes down to your shit. The only way they should even know that your shit is even about shit is when you step out there with it. Now, true enough, when other people have your shit, it's supposed to do the same thing on their yard that it was doing on your yard if they're doing the right thing by it. Mo always use Walkmall as one of them, them prime points. How come Walkmall got all them champions and got all them dogs out there and can't nobody produce one champion? How come every champion got to come off their yard, but can't nobody outside of them get anything? That situation fits into that conversation. But what we're going to say, Walkmall wasn't a breeder? I mean, hell, he sold enough damn dogs to be one. You know what I mean? What you going to say? Even though we did selective breeding, we did selective breeding. Didn't nobody really get our shit, but when this shit got out there, I would expect our dogs to do the same thing on other people's yards that it was doing on our yards. And history will show you that they did. But that, fellas, let me explain something. That did not make us breeders. What made us breeders is the fact that we could go in our own backyard and grab our own shit and go out there and stand and climb over that box. Pat Patrick was a breeder. Floyd Boudreaux was the breeder. Earl Twitter was a dog fighter. Maurice Carver was a dog fighter. Stone City was a breeder, but he was using his own shit. What's first? He was a dog fighter. So I can keep telling you about many dog fighters who was breeding up their own shit, using their own shit. And through the grace of God, you were lucky to even have some of this shit on your yard, off their yards. So when I see these 5 and 10 and 15 pages of all these pedigrees that I watched Buck pull up today, that had all them pedigrees, and as he was going down, I was laughing because he almost sounded like Mo as he's going down through there and saying, look at this, 5 pages, and it's nothing there. What's the hype about? There's nothing there. So I laughed about that because you have to understand where he actually coming from because he knows. Just as a breeder himself, he knows. If it's working on my yard and I sell it to you, it's supposed to work on yours. Puppy peddlers don't give a damn what they selling you. They really don't. It's just a sale. The sale go bad, well, try again on the next one. But I just thought I'd throw that out there because I thought it was just one of them things. There was a great conversation, and it went on for 5 hours, when he really got down to talk about the real shit, And if you haven't seen the video, you need to go check out the video because he has much respect for Tom. But I mean, that's a whole new conversation. So if you haven't seen the show, go check it out. Good information, a lot of educational information. And then for you young guys out there, it kind of makes me feel like, well, we ain't the only ones beating up on y'all. You know what I'm saying? And I feel I feel like we beating up on y'all because, you know, how many times you had a child that keep touching the fire? You know, you scream at them, you pop their hand, you're trying to keep them from hurting themselves, and they still don't listen. To that one day, something bad happened to them. And then you'd be ready to, you know, knock their heads off. In this dog game, they would just walk away from you. They wouldn't even have nothing to do with you. You burnt that bridge. And in order for a person to treat you like that, knowing what it takes to breed a dog, raise a dog, and mess up a good breeding, don't think the breeder ain't paying attention. You just be that one person that can't never come back. Now, if you do the right thing, you can come back and get anything off the yard. And I'm gonna let Mo tell you how he done it, how he was able to get out there and walk on these other people's yards. Remember, we didn't pay nothing for Mayday, neither time. So you're back on, Mo. Get in there and show him what you were trying to show me. Ain't nobody hit that thing.
I think somebody said something about the link a minute ago.
Let me get the link up here. Quick.
Hold on, Mike gonna put the link up for guys who want to step in. I was sitting over there checking out the chat. I was impressed. One of my man said, "Twin, which one you wanted to breed to, an all whim or a champion? Champion, or all whim?" I think both of them carry the qualities. Now, if I got an all whim bitch, like if I had baby, I've been breeding baby to an all whim. You know, she an all whim bitch, I'm breeding to an all whim male. Matter of fact, I'll breed her to a champion. We got an all whim background too. See, what I'm looking for that all whim genetic to kick in and serve me well. But in all, come down to it, I'm gonna always pick over the box. I'm gonna always pick my box first. Box gonna always come first.
Big shout out to J Rock with the 10-piece. Appreciate that, fam.
No.
Big shout out to my man Skip Bill. Skip Bill coming in with the 2-piece. Appreciate the love, fam.
You interrupt me and then you throw me off and then I ain't got nothing to talk about. Why do you do that? Can't you hold on to our finish? I'm over here now. What up, Mad Doctor? I see you out there today, man. What's up, Chico? I guess I keep on hollering since Mike stopped me from talking.
Yeah.
I know. Anytime you do it, I make you pay. Because I'm not doing what I'm looking at me now. I'm just sitting here like, okay, let me go find something else to talk about. Because right now, I don't know what I'm going to say.
Do you remember what you were talking about?
Nope.
That's the whole point. You don't remember what you were talking about. From 1 second to the next.
Well, that's what I said to make you
answering a word's question about.
The champion.
Yes.
But yeah, I finished that. Yeah, I'm gonna pick the champion all the time. If I got an all-in bitch though, twin, doesn't matter where the all-in comes from. Say if it's a totally different bloodline than what you're breeding for. Well, one thing for sure, I'm not one for reaching out, breeding into a dog just because you're a champion if it's not going to serve my purpose. That's just like them taking little Mayday as Kunta and couldn't get shit out of Kunta until they bred him to some shit the way, you know, he was bred, if he was being used as the dog that he really was, little Mayday. You know? That's a good, he's a prime example. You know, for Kunta to be as good as he was, he couldn't produce shit. But you turn around and take him and breed him to a Stone City dog, and all of a sudden you got King Kunta. Why is that? So you just can't take him because he's a champion of breeding anything and think you're gonna get something. You know what I'm saying? You just can't get that. It's not gonna happen. And he's a prime example of that. Now, if they had came in and took him and used him like we used our dog, like Brat, and you had Kunta, aka Little Mayday, breeding him the way we were breeding him, because I'm pretty sure Mark Davis knew what to do, and he knew who Kunta was. Shortly after Kunta won his grand championship, he turned right around and got a hold of me and bought a dog off of Sassy in Cogdizo. She was in heat, and I bred it and made to and sent it to him. Now, keep in mind, what would DSK MAD want with a dog that has nothing to do with his line? But he also knew Butcher Knife. You know what I'm saying? He also knew Butcher Knife, and he was actually there the night that Kunta and Wacko went into each other. So they were pretty well familiar with each other. And just a little information on thought on that issue. Shortly after I said Wacko lost, Mark bought a dog from us. And he turned right around and he advertised all this going on in 2003. Now he's taking this little female and he's got it on pairs online that he's going to breed this dog to Macho Buck. That was his plan. I guess it was a planned breeding. Now, keep in mind, he's already got a puppy off of Maytu, because when I sent him Maggie, he called her Cocky Girl. When I sent him Maggie, I had bred her to Maytu because she came in here at the time I was selling. You know, I wasn't really selling her. He just, when Mad call you, he wants to buy something from you. You don't understand why, unless he's trying to get into the Mayday dog. He is down there in Texas. You know, it never crossed my mind back then. But certain events happen in these last couple things that Mark Davis then popped up into this thing with Kunta and Little Mayday. So a lot of those things that was going on back then in 2003 starting to come to understanding that, oh, he knew Butcher Knife. And as a matter of fact, he knew Norman. He knew Norman very well because we found Norman. Yeah, we found him. Guess where we found him at? In Texas. Texas. So, you know, a lot of that part of that puzzle is starting to come, you know, the gaps, the little bit of gaps. There's a lot of gaps that have been closed. But it also immediately brought me back. And I was just so happy. I was telling Mike, I said, man, I was talking about Little Mayday again. I was like, man, I wouldn't be surprised that Mad would know Norman because he hung out with Irish Jerry. And Mad, he was like one of them kind of guys, he's a grimy dude. A lot of people tell you he's worse than Fat Bill. But he knew everybody. Okay? And I said, I can guarantee you, man, I bet you he know Irish Jerry, and I bet you he know Storm and Norman. And as I was saying Storman's name, I said, you know what? I know his last name. His last name is Norman Ash. And I looked him up on Facebook and I found him. I found him. Guess where he was? In Texas. You know what I'm saying? He was in Texas. You know it. You know he's like the right man because right up under that, he's from Kalamazoo, Michigan. So he was my man Norman. So now I kind of, all of it starts coming together. Why did Matt pop up right after the Wacko Kunta match and buy a dog from us? Because he knew who the dog was he saw that night on Wacko. You know? One of these days, Friday, I'm gonna have Sniper, because Sniper was at the Kunta Wacko match. And he's going to give you play-by-play of what he saw that night with Kunta and Wacko. And it's going to almost immediately, you're going to immediately know that he was a going hard dog. And you're going to know by the story that he tell you. Because he was there. And, you know, he knew Shady Days was there. They had a show that night. I think Matt and them had put one down. I know it was a car. It was a convention. But they were all there. So I'm going to hold that back until Friday, let the man who was actually there, let him speak his truth. I didn't already heard it. And it's going to kind of be funny to you guys because y'all know what a going hard dog does. You know what his favorite place is. You know, and all genetics, you could just tell all the genetics. But on that tip right there, you know, breeding, you cannot just take a champion because you're a champion and think you're going to start your whole new bloodline and do that unless you didn't pay attention and you know the bloodline he's coming from. Now, a lot of times when I go and get ready to dive into a 50-50, that means I'm going 50-50. I'm taking two known lines. I'm pretty tight on my line. And then I'm looking at this other line. He's coming off a champion, and he's tight on his line. Those are when you make those 50-50 crosses. If you know how they did Yellow when they pulled the Jocko move, you would see they did a 50-50 move. You know what I'm saying? Jocko into the Yellow John stuff was a 50-50 move. Heavy Jocko on the bottom, heavy Red Boy on the top. That's a 50-50 cross. 50-50 crosses, guys, when they're bred right, they have ability to produce good dogs. And to be honest, most of your 50-50 crosses is where your registered mares come from. That line, that beginning of a line. Like that beginning of a line, like that 50-50 with Yellow and Patrick to produce mate in them. 50-50 cross. You know, Yellow Buck. Buck to Awesome Baby, 50-50. You know what I'm saying? Our move with Grand Champion Ace, 50-50. You know, they're going to either give you a great match dog or they're going to give you both. Honey Bunch and Bully Son. You know, Bully Son and Finley's both. You know what I'm saying? The G cross, 50-50 cross. So, hey, if you look at it like that and you're understanding the lines, 50-50 crosses can do that for you. That 3 in and 1 out, it works very well too. But you have to have a good 3 before you go in there dipping into that 1. And usually when I go dipping into that 1, that 3 in, 1 out, that out, it's got to be coming from some production.
Hey, my man, Mad Doctor said, did you know?
Don't know what.
That's about the Quincy situation.
No, I didn't. Look, I always told Mike that Kunta, that picture they had of Kunta, you know, hit the front of him, he looks just like Little Mayday. I always said that. But because he was such a good dog, I wanted to put Buck Rogers on him. I didn't hate Kunta. I wasn't out to get Kunta or nothing like that. Kunta was one of the best 40 pounders out there. And we was trying to do what we always do. We try to go get the best. And right then, at that time, Kunta was the best 40 pounder out there outside of Buck Rogers. What's the best way to go find out who got the best dog? Go get him. Now, we had a hard time trying to get Kunta. And you know, later down the line in these years to come, on what we know now, I kind of understand why. You know, I understand why. We were trying to get Kunta before he got Wacko. You know what I'm saying? So maybe they knew something that we didn't know, and that's why we wasn't going to be able to do anything with it. But yeah, one for sure. If I'd have got there with Buck Rogers and Kunta and I would have seen Kunta, I would have knew Little Mayday on sight. I would have knew who he was on sight. That would have been a problem. Kunta was a badass dog, but Kunta, aka Little Mayday, didn't do nothing no different than any other going hard dog that we produced. He was a 40-pounder, just like his grandson, Buck Rogers. He was a 40-pounder. He was a destroyer. He was a back-end dog. He didn't go long, and neither did Kunta. Brat didn't go long. Waterday didn't go long. Ruby didn't go long. 38 Special didn't go long. He went in a good long one, his fourth one. But these dogs right here, these dogs were short matches, and it comes from the genetic. Grand Champion Ace didn't go long either. What was Grand Champion Ace? He was a stifle dog. What was Red Ruby? Stifle dog. What was Little Mayday, aka Kunta? Stifle dog. What was Brat? Stifle dog. What was Waterday? Stifle dog. What was Jimmy? Stifle dog. 38 Special. Stifle dog. All stifle dogs. Even the ones that they put out up there for Jamie. Coming off of Baby. Crossing with Barracuda. They made a dog, but they still crushing shit quick. Stifle dogs. Even with putting Barracuda on top of the Stone City stuff. Keep in mind, Baby and Buck Rogers were grandsons of Little Mayday. Grandkids of Little Mayday, not Brat, Little Mayday. Sassy Girl was off of Little Mayday. That's why she was our brood bitch. She produced a lot of dogs. And her dogs produced. So, I think it's just in the genetics. I think dogs that get that all-whim ability, you can tell early in their litters. You can almost tell early in their litters. Like Stone City had multi-winners in their litter. Victor had multi-winners in his litter. Look at how many Jeep had in his litter. You can almost count on those, when you're going with an RM thing. We had a good chance because look at all the RMs in Brat and Little Mayday's breeding. My man said, "Hey, what? Kunta little is not made to. It's not made to. Made to is off of Brat and Mayday. Little Mayday Kunta is Brat's little mate brother. Who is that? That's Mayday's son. Kunta was Mayday's son. He's just another champion off of Mayday. Brad's little mate brother. Hey Mo, when it came to selling the dogs and you put them price tags on them, what led up to that? Get them to understand the difference between a $500 dog and a $10,000 dog. When we done seen you sold dogs for that crazy price, we seen people buy dogs for that crazy price. Oh, when I got out of the dog, I sold my whole yard, y'all, in 28 days. Made over 150 grand. Brat got sold for 25,000. Pretty Mama got sold for 25,000. Baby got sold for 5,000. There was a Little Mayday and Brat pups. Dave got paid. He paid $2,500 a piece. Southern Bulldogs spent over $40,000 on buying the dogs. He bought Sassy Girl Auto. He spent like $40,000 on my yard. He was the first one to put 40 on the table and picked out the dogs he wanted. And then the thing about it, he paid $25,000 for Brat and didn't never get her. The transporter ended up stealing her from me. And I don't even think he got the May 2 pups that came along with that. I don't think he had got anything off of Brat and May 2. The transporter took her and those 2 pups that he had. And like I said, he spent 40 grand just on them. Now, everybody else that left, like Mama went for 25. You know what I mean? Twisted Nico, good friend of mine, he got a good deal. He got 2 match dogs for $4,000 or $5,000. So when I got out of dogs, I mean, yellow Nico, he went out for a good piece of change. You know, price tag for me wasn't really a price tag. You know, I put on the value of what I took care of and what I feed. You know, I wasn't looking at the money. I was looking at the worth. If you want this shit coming out of my hands, you know, you'll pay for it. They paid $25,000 for Mr. Mayday. They paid $25,000 for Queen of Heart. They paid $25,000 for Noriega. These are not unrealistic things that's going on out here.
Don't forget, Tom said he spent $70,000.
Yeah, Tom said he spent $70,000 on NASCAR. Which we know it was more. It wasn't more that much. It wasn't even 50, but it was close to 50 though. 50 down to 50 grand, and then you can get the papers. You know, so hey, if you want it, you'll spend the money for it. You'll spend the money for it. You can't be hating about that now. Man, come up there. That's why Noriega ended up. You get mad at the boy that spent the money when he bought Noriega, because the boy spent his money, and what did Chico think? You know, he was supposed to, you know, take the boy's money and still make Noriega a grand champion. Well, he probably felt like he could have did that, you know. But once that boy spent that money, he got Noriega. Guess what? He want his name on that grand championship. He spent his money, you know, and not the fact that he could have just took and let Chico go ahead and condition him and win and go ahead and win out with him. No, he wanted to do it. He spent $25,000. I understand where he's coming from, but he fucked up. Here you is spending $25 for a dog, and you got a real bulldog, and you ain't in a real dog man. You know, even though Noriega got beat by Ajax, these dogs didn't go but 40 minutes, y'all, and they both died. 40 minutes and both dogs died. Just imagine if Chico would have had bought Noriega in and put him on Ajax. That would have been the same story. We never know. But we know one thing. We know a greenhorn walked in that box with Noriega, and both dogs ended up dying. You know, so hey, I can tell you what, that's just how it goes. You got to spend that money. You want it, you get it. You know what I mean? So that's just how that situation go. You know, everybody don't have that kind of money to spend, but then you got some people out there who do. Abraham's wanted to go get pepper. You know what they did? They went down there and spent 25 grand to go get Queen to go back and get pepper. You know, that's what you call getting it done. You know? So, yeah, money is not even an issue. I remember they got mad when we was first messing around down there in Carolina. I'm sitting there listening to Atlas and James Edwards really talking shit about Tom Gardner, because they was always used to selling their puppies for $500, something like that. But the average was like 300. And they was really talking like, you know, Tom didn't broke the rules, like, you know, like they was some kind of, you know, little rule thing they had going on. Tom, he's starting to lock in on that money. Tom getting $850,000 for his puppies now. You know, Tom first one started that shit. Then Wild Side. You know, now it's then turned into a money machine. But Atlas and James, they were old school dudes. These was ancient dudes. They didn't understand Tom doing that. They didn't like what Tom was doing. Which one? Oh no, I didn't. I have my glasses. Sorry. You and Mad Doctor getting one free. Just raised them. Got one. I got 2 litters coming off of Made to as we speak, bro. You get one, cuz, for sure. Well, you got, I tell you what, anything you getting off of them, you got something to look forward to. You know, especially if you did your homework. You know, I always say, you do your homework. You got to get your homework. You know, when you got good dogs, you're right. You sniff out the dog that you know, you're the breeder. So you ask yourself, what is it about that dog? Why you want to breed to him? Would be my question to you, Mr. Nicholas. Mr. Nichols. You know, Chico. What you know what I'm saying? You're the breeder. What is your mindset? Why would you want those straws to put to your females, Mr. Nichols? You know, the mind of a breeder. Because that's the decision a breeder does every time he breeds to a dog. You know, if you're just taking your dog because she got papers and they look good and they match another dog, and with those two dogs looking together, they don't even got to be matched dogs. They could just be dogs that just, you know, you admire your papers and he admires his papers. You know what I'm saying? You know, so I'm gonna breed him because he bred like my shit. We're gonna have the best bred shit around here. That really is not a bad idea as a breeder. What you saying is nothing wrong with what you saying. You probably will have some of the baddest bred shit out there, but is it worth a damn? It wouldn't even matter to you, and I can understand why it wouldn't matter to you as a breeder. It shouldn't matter, but as a dog man myself, you know, it would matter because you wouldn't turn my head to that. You know, just being honest, you know, some people can gravitate to the nice pedigrees, and then some people just won't. You know, you're gonna get that ugly question every time. Every time, you know, you got somebody come and inquire about those pretty bred dogs. What about the dad? Did dad do anything? Or how's the mama? You know, and they're gonna take very little listening to the breeder when it comes to him talking about his female. Because he's got a mindset too. He's trying to buy something, he's interested in your line of dogs. He's trying to find out information, but the little bit of information he's gonna care less about is your dog. He's trying to think about your concept and your way of thinking as a breeder, why you bred to that dog. Was it just because he had pretty papers? That's what he's waiting to hear you say. Because he's a dog man. He's a real dog man. He is not, that's not what he wanted to hear. As soon as you open your mouth and you say something about, the lines are looking good, they work together, I think they're gonna be some pretty good dogs. And guess what? That guy's gonna turn around and walk away. Because even though it looked good and it got interesting to him, I'm pretty sure he walked away because it did not fit his criteria of what he wanted the dogs for. He might have wanted them for a purpose. And in that purpose, even with those pedigrees looking the way they is, drew his attention. You know, the main questions that he wanted to know, he got the answer as soon as you open your mouth and say it. They bred delight, they bred good, look at this and look how that is, but, what about the male? The best you can say about the male is bred like your female. Look at that paper. They're the tightest bred snooty dog. They're the tightest bred grand champion dog in the area. They got all that. They're looking good. But to a dog man as myself, it ain't tickling me at all. For experienced dog man, he's going to ask that question. He's going to ask that question because now he got to feed this shit. If he buy one, he don't want to buy it because it has a pretty paper. He wants to buy it because he's going to use it. Or he's going to buy it and try to use it and it comes up a blank. You know, and all he's gonna end up saying in the end, something told me not to do that shit because all it was just a pretty pedigree. You see what I'm saying? That's all it's gonna be, just a pretty pedigree. It didn't work out. And that's how a lot of guys do. But if you're not in that life, see, that's why I always say, guys, you know, y'all get mad at me when I start digging into that type of shit right there. You know, because again, we're still talking about two different categories here. We're talking about two different categories. You don't take the category that I'm taking your dog into over here where we bulldogging some shit, you know, and get upset because your dog ain't got no business over here anyway. You know, take him and put him back over there where he belongs, where it's safe to have those nice looking pedigrees and those nice looking dog pedigrees getting put together because they're not being used for a purpose anyway. So you know, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not even sweating on that. I'm not even against that. But when you take it and try to bring it over here where I'm at, I'm gonna talk shit. They wouldn't work on my yard. They wouldn't last on my yard. But why did you say that, twin? You don't even know nothing about the dog. Well, based on the fact that the first thing came out your mouth is you bragging about it, just the way they bred it. The way you bred them, and the reason why you bred them is because of papers. Papers ain't gonna do me no good over here. Ain't neither one of these damn dogs proving you gonna love your bitch. There's nothing you gonna sit here and say bad about your female. And you a breeder. And you ain't gonna tell me one breeder that's gonna have something bad to say about his female.
Cold or not.
Cold or not. Especially when he's breeding. So the last thing I want to hear about is the blue bitch. You know what I'm saying? Look at all the females I had on my yard and look how choosy I was. I had a female right off of Nico Jr. and Sassy, never bred her. I had Yellow Nico on the yard off of Nico and Sassy Girl, never bred him. I had May 2 on the yard and they would tell you I was going out the door when I started breeding him. You know? Over here in this category over here, it is one thing that we must know and we will deal with. And it goes as a rule. All bulldogs on this yard earn chain space. And even though you may be game, even though you made it back to the chain, it does not put you in the line of one of the dogs to go out here and produce. Now, Yellow Nico left my yard and produced some winners. You know, there was a couple females, a Walker Mall bitch left my yard and produced a winner. She didn't produce no champion, but she produced winners. You see what I'm saying? Those are breedings that I can say, well, yeah, I bred Pretty Mama the Barracuda and didn't get shit. Gave him to a boy all down there in St. Louis. So did. Barracuda the Pretty Mama. What was I trying to do? Well, I was trying to bring that red boy into the Barracuda stuff like Ruckus was using. You know, Body Snatcher was doing with Ruckus in them. Cunningham's Red Man, he produced some good dogs. I ain't talking about the Pit Island stuff. I'm talking about match dogs, winning dogs. You know what I'm saying? The twin, you get anything for free? Nickel. Hey, oh, Chico said, twin, you get anything for free? Do I get anything for free? Yeah, I got Mayday. Well, you know, I remember I had already bred the Red Ace to Mayday. I ain't paid for that breeding. They owed me a breeding from when I bred to Apache, Angels Apache, didn't take. So I got that free. Brad became a champion. Definitely got that free. And Victor worked hard to get those puppies off of Brad, and Victor never got a puppy. You know what Victor, all he wanted? He just wanted to make sure he got it done. Because I was the first one to step up to him when it came to Mayday. I was the first one to jam out there that didn't come off of Southern Kennels Yard with a female off of Mayday, and she was doing what Red Ace did. She wasn't doing what Mayday did. Brat and Little Mayday was doing what Red Ace did. Just like Red Ace went in there and smashed that grand champion, even though she wasn't up to it. She didn't want to fight that night, but it didn't mean that she couldn't fight. And that's what she showed Tommy. You know, and she sent that shit down to her kids. She only had 2 to survive, and that was Brat and Little Mayday. And both of them went in both of them. Brat won all 3 of hers going into 2-time winners. And they none of them go long. Little Mayday did the same thing. Never went over 36 minutes. Longest match he had was with Kunta. 36 minutes, that's not a long time. Same with Buck Rogers. These dogs didn't go long. So when it comes to getting shit free, let me see. Jesse, I wouldn't say Big Mike gave me one for free because I didn't get my breeding out of Bozak. So he gave me a pup. Jesse, he never gave me one. Here he did. He gave me Little Buck. He gave me Little Buck. In the long run, Jesse gave me Little Buck. You know, and I mean, that's how I got Little Buck. Sarah Kell's little May brother. That's where Baby and them come from. That's where the Stone City Mayday cross was made from. The dog that I got from Jesse, bred to Little Mayday's daughter. You know, and shit. At the time, Maytu was a young dog, and we had bred Maytu to Grand Champion Satan. A bloodline off of Grand Champion Satan. I think it was Grand Champion Satan's little maid, I mean, his daughter. I mean, not his daughter, it might have been his sister. But yeah, we made that cross. And that night, like I said, that night, we got a chance to see that male win Best in Show. And we got a chance to see 6 little puppies, Mayday Stone City, go out there before that big ass show started and just show their ass. So I'm telling you, now we all see what that looks like online when they be doing all that, letting the puppy scrabble thing. See, I am really not a fan of that. Because see, even though I was able to present my yard like that to them, guess what, y'all? Those puppies was on chains by the time they got there. Oh, them puppies did just do that night, and all of them got back in a kennel together. No, they saw those puppies going back to chains. They saw them puppies getting grown dog collars put on their neck, going back to a chain. Because it would be useless for me to continue putting them together with the way they were. They have been past that point. So, I'm not a fan for letting them rock and roll like that. I mean, I can stand seeing it to the point where I start snatching out the dominant ones, because every time you snatch out a dominant one, another one will rise. And that's how I put mine out on the chain. As they gravitate into their dominance, that's where I take and change it up. Hey, Pit Dog is in the house, Mike. Pit Dog. Hold on, Pit Dog. We're going to bring you in. Pit Dog, you out there, man. What's up, baby?
What's good? What's good?
Hey, ain't nothing, man. You sound good. What's up, man?
I got a good mic, man.
I know you sure do. Sound like you got a professional mic. What's up, Pit Dog?
I'm
Y'all, this is Pit Dog, aka Snipe, the Jigger owner, and Wiley.
How you doing, man?
Hey, I was telling them Friday, but I'm gonna bring it to him up to the front. Hey, God, this is the guy I was telling y'all that saw Kunta and Rocco's match. Rocco's match. And I'm pretty sure y'all heard enough about me talking about how our dogs did. But Pit Dog, can you give them a short synopsis of what you saw that night? Or just give
Oh,
us a rundown.
they was going at it. They was neck and neck basically, and they was going back and forth, and all of a sudden Kunta got in that stifle, and then Wacko went into the stifle, and Mark Davis was to the right of me, and White Boy D was to the left of me. We were up like in a big 4x4, one of the big, huge trucks. And we were sitting in the back looking down in. And I said, hey, man, whichever one leaves the back end first, going to lose. And I was correct that night. And Mark Davis was betting with Kunta the whole time. He took them boys. He took all their money. And actually, they owed him mad money after that. Mad money. They were like giving them dogs because they owed him so much.
Yeah, I heard they was sick after that match.
They were crying. Them grown men were crying, man.
That's what I heard. They wasn't expecting that.
People were like yelling at them because they were like ass betting the whole time, man. And then it makes me think they were doing that up against Work Kennels with Dozier. But they won that one. They're yelling at him, telling him to take that tattoo off. He had just gotten another tattoo with a tombstone that had Kunta's name on it.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. He went and got a tattoo before the match.
I guarantee if he had came in there, I guarantee if they would have told him that was really Lil Mayday, Black Little May brother, they would have thought about it a little different because one thing they knew down in here, this Florida area, they knew who Brat was. I'm pretty sure of that. And Kunta whooped some good dogs. I mean, Wacko beat some good dogs now.
He did.
Wacko beat some good dogs. He sure did.
He was a cur that night.
He was a cur that night. Well, but look what we did to Tommy Boy. The expectation. Yeah. Like I said, he showed everything that his little mate sister showed. And everything that their mama showed. Reason why I went to Puerto Rico and went into that bitch, because these were those type of dogs. These type of dogs were champion beaters. They could get in there and get one. That's why we didn't care who we went out there, just like we didn't care about Kunta. And until
he was definitely the bigger dog.
About Buck Rogers and Kunta. Remember, that's how we got into that conversation. I was telling you, man, we was trying to get Kunta, man. We just couldn't get him. And my boy,
that'd have been funny.
It would have been, yeah, it would have been. Oh, it'd have been a problem if we'd have got there and seen that dog.
Exactly. That's why they never did it.
That's why they never did it, because Mark Davis knew, though. I think Mark Davis knew, especially when I found Norman down there in Texas. Now I know why. Look, I'm going to pull up this pedigree, y'all. I'm going to show y'all something. Now, that match went on in 2003. Hey, Mike, I need your help, bro. Here, let me see if I can get it on my own. I'm going to...
But Alligator was right, man. Mark didn't come with Matt, but he met Matt there.
Right.
Yo, Matt came with Richard, man. Everywhere Richard went, Matt was driving and Richard was in the motherfucking front seat. That was like his sidekick, man. But yeah, that's where we met. We met Matt down there. I met him down there. I traveled down from New York.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Broke bread at Jesse's house. We was hanging out with Jesse that whole day before, before that.
Y'all was down. Y'all was down.
Yeah. Jesse a good host, man. I love Jesse. Jesse, good people.
Kudos to Jesse. I mean, I'm telling you.
Mike and them too. Mike, Hardcore Mike. They all good people.
Yeah, Hardcore Mike. Yeah, they good people. That's for sure, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
All right, look at this, y'all. Here we go. Is it on the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, y'all, look. You see that? 2003.
Yep.
You see that Maz cocky girl? That's the female he bought shortly after the Wacko match. And she came there pregnant with Maytu pups. But look, already see how he trying to look. This is mad. This is not DSK. There's no Gabe and none of that stuff. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Tonight,
Yep.
2003. So you know that Kunta went in 2003.
Yeah.
Now why would he run to my yard and buy that dog? You know, and that's why I believe he knew a lot more. And even when me and you were talking that day, and you called him on the phone, it was the way he was being. You know, he had this little, the way he was talking about the match. You know, us trying to get with Kunta. You know what I mean? No, you know, because he really was high on Kunta, but you could tell. You know, I was high on Buck Rogers, not knowing that I'm talking about his grandson.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But I believe, you know, age would have made the difference. I'm gonna tell you that much, because he definitely, his grandson was definitely all that, and it would have definitely been a good match. But that age would have caught up with him, because we would have found that out on our yard. And you know, on our yard, we find those kind of things out on the yard. You know, we've been picking up little Mayday, tell you like that, because he'd have been too old at 2003. You know, he was born in 96.
Yeah. So
yeah. He was like almost 8 years old when he went in the blackout.
Yeah, that's too old. I mean, but back in the day, some of them dudes are doing 10-year-old dogs. But
yeah,
you know, as time went on, you know, more dog men didn't do that, because sometimes they would lose that 10-year-old dog. Huh?
Yes, sir. And
I mean,
I done seen a lot of grand champions lose their grand championship. Cochise beat Max.
Yeah.
And Max didn't have no business out there going into Cochise.
Which Cochise you talking about?
The Cochise to beat grand champion Max.
How was he, Brad?
Which one? The Cochise to beat Max?
Yeah.
That might have been y'all Cochise.
Nah, he didn't beat no man.
Well, if y'all didn't, ain't y'all want to beat that deal?
Yeah, Marty got him from Jerry, and he was already a 2-time winner. He just beat Fat Bill So Evil.
Right.
And then took him into Champion Bear.
Okay, well, I know Max lost to a dog named Cochise, and he was a champion.
Yeah, that's like I'm pretty sure there was a dog off that Crazy Chief stuff, like Jigga was named Cochise. He was a champion too. He was a bad motherfucker too.
Yeah, he was a bad motherfucker.
He wasn't as bad as Jigga. Jigga, the baddest one out of all of them that ever came off of Toogie's yard.
Yeah, he was game because it went 2 hours or something. They ended up picking up Max. Yeah, it went 2 hours.
I don't doubt it did. You ain't going 2 hours with Jigga.
Oh no, that's different. That's right. See, Deep South, they had good dogs, but I'm gonna tell you, they had marathoners.
Oh, Alligator, how was Richard? He was a good dog. He was real good. He was dead ahead, man. They just
now Richard beat a good one too for his grand championship. I'm trying to remember who it was, but I heard it was the champion.
Yeah, I seen him go against that Rock, Champion Rock.
Yep, Champion Rock. Okay, you seen that?
Yeah, that was the same night Kunta and Waka.
Oh, okay.
That was the undercard.
Oh, okay. And Richard, I heard Richard got his way with him.
From the markings, it does look like Little Mayday, but I'm not one to say which one it is or which one it isn't.
Right. But
That's
being
what
he's
that
my dog, I can. Don't worry.
right. I believe
It was
that.
like he left as a puppy.
Yeah,
And then, like I said, I found
like
Norman down there in Texas.
right. But
Texas,
like I saw Kunta when he was Kunta, you know what I mean? Like I didn't
right.
see Little
No, I
Mayday
saw Kunta back then. He was Kunta.
beforehand, you know what I mean?
Right. I saw Kunta too like that. I mean,
Right. So
that's why I was
I
trying to get
couldn't
him.
tell you which one was which, but the pictures and the markings, I don't know. Twin got a good ground to stand on.
And adding more ground every time I pull up this shit. Like, look at Mark Davis sitting up here. In 2003, out of all the dogs that he messed with, why would he call me to get one of these dogs?
You have to ask him that.
That's a good question for me to ask him now.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, back then I never paid attention to it. Never crossed my mind. I was kind of happy. You know, what would Matt want with on some of my shit? If this ain't Banjo stuff, this ain't Gabe stuff.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know, and so I did him a favor. He had came in and I sent him down there with a little puppies in him off of May 2.
Yeah.
Look, what happened, look, this is what he did afterwards. I think what I don't know if he ever bred Maggie to Macho Buck, but I think he rolled Maggie and Maggie didn't look too good, so he didn't like her. So he got rid of her and gave her away and all the puppies off of May 2.
Yeah.
The young boys came through talking mad trash to him, talking about these dogs they got, right? They put 3 of them on Mad's shit, and Mad was like, he was surprised because these dogs was rough as hell. They was smashing and shit. He was like, man, who are these dogs? Where you get these dogs from? He said, we got them from you. These are those puppies you got rid of. They weren't even dog fighters. He asked him, where did you get these puppies from? He said, these are the puppies that you gave away. Off of May 2 and Cocky Girl, yes. So he made, you know, when I talked to him, it was real funny about it because he said he couldn't, and they wouldn't sell him nothing back. He couldn't buy one of them dogs back.
I bet.
So, you know, and again, traits don't lie.
They don't.
And, you know, and my biggest thing was just to be able to find Norman down there in Texas. Here, let me go I want to go pull up this Facebook so y'all can see this. I don't know if I can get him up. But I gotta go there. I just gotta go. I don't want to put him out there on blast. But because the last time he posted was in 2016. So I don't know if Norman is still alive or not. But I can tell you what. You look up his name, you're gonna find him Kalamazoo, and he ended up in Texas. And the only way I kind of figured that out because I thought about Matt in the now, thought, why would he buy a dog from us back then? I said, I guarantee you he might know Irish Jerry because, you know, Mark Davis knew everybody down there.
Right.
You know, and if Norman's hanging out with Irish Jerry, I know he know Irish Jerry if he know Coy and all them because they always go heads.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, I remember that man's last name, looked him up on Facebook and found him down there in Del Rio, Texas. And there it is, right there at the bottom. That where was he from? Kalamazoo, Michigan. I started putting it all together. Like, well, I wonder if Mad knew, or is Mad the middleman between how Little Mayday ended up from Texas to Florida?
Yeah, like somebody said in chat, you gotta get him on here.
Yeah, you know, that would be a good one. But he's such a bullshitter.
I don't
you know
think
what I'm saying? I don't think he would ever admit to that.
Of course he would.
You know?
Most of them would.
But it doesn't really have nothing to do. It's still a Norman issue. To me, it's always going to be a Norman issue. After what Norman did, I don't have no gripe on. None.
I mean, a lot of the people did a lot of bullshit like that. I mean, you know what I mean? Look at Bolio, man. If people
Yeah,
didn't go and breed the Bolio after all the bullshit that happened with him. You know what I mean? Same thing
yeah,
with Banjo. Banjo got taken. You know what I mean? Some people say he quit when they took him, and then they got him back. Who knows? You know what I mean? There's so many different he said, she said bullshit. You know what I mean? If you ain't there, you don't fucking know.
right. That's right.
So, but you know what? Motherfucking the Banjo had a motherfucking a line ready to breed to him. There was a line waiting to breed to him. So
Oh, he sure did. I think the baddest breeding that Banjo produced, man, and on the real was when they started crossing them dogs into them red boy dogs. I seen some of the baddest Banjo dogs. They would have red boy in them. Man, oh man, they was some devastating dogs, man. I
I've
remember a
seen some
dude,
pretty badass ones that had no red boy in them.
my man had a red boy Banjo dog. Dog got stolen right after a roll. Dog showed his ass. And only close people around him knew that dog. This dog got taken shortly after the roll. The dog wasn't even there 5 hours after he was done. The dog came amiss. My man knew it had to be somebody who saw that dog go that day.
Yeah, of course.
And you know, when you're dealing with street shit, that's like taking a bird out somebody's house. Okay?
Yeah.
All kinds of people all kinds of people started getting approached and snatched up, bro. You know what I'm saying? That
Uh-huh.
man went on a mad spree over that dog coming up missing, man. I'm trying to tell you. Could you imagine? We got Breaker at the line. Could you imagine going into a place, man, and walking in there and you're not even thinking about a dog that came up missing on your yard, and you walk in there and there it is, your dog up there you gonna go into? Could you imagine some shit like that, man?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Hey, we got Game Breaker in the house. What's up, Game Breaker?
What you would
Dude,
have what you would have did if you got to the match? You would have seen Kunta. What you think you would have did, twin?
Oh, it would have been. I'm gonna tell you right off the bat what I would have did. I would have said, "That's my dog," and we ain't nothing getting ready to move right now. Everything we doing tonight gonna get shut down until we deal with this matter here. Twin gonna go into twin mode because that dog did not come up missing as no puppy. Any puppy can look like a dog. You know what I'm saying? A dog was 20 months old and already on. I know I'd have walked in there, I'd have knew who he was right off the bat. Like I said, I had him on my yard longer than I had Brat. Brat wasn't even raised on my yard. Little Mayday was raised on my yard. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, what's up, Game Breaker? I'm gonna get.
I hear you. I hear you.
Okay, Snap, I got you back. Hey man,
I
I was gonna
I
pull
tried
up
to do my
Wiley.
picture, but it ain't working, man.
Okay, yeah, I'm trying
It
to.
took me out.
What picture you trying to put up, bro?
I could put Jigger or Wiley up there.
Well, I was gonna put up. I was gonna pull up Jigga and Wiley. I wanted to talk more about Wiley because remember we always talked about Jigga, but we never really talked about Wiley much.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Let
talking
me
about.
make sure I'm spelling it right, man. That's what I want to talk about. I want to talk
WILEY.
about Wiley. I want to show some real bull. WILEY. Okay.
Yeah, like Wiley E. Coyote. Mitch Gibson had him, actually, his nephew Tim. Tim, and I think his name was Zeke. Wiley's first name was Zeke. That's what Tim Gibson named him. But then he went to Mountain Man's, and then that's when Marty talked to Mountain Man and got him from Mountain Man. And then basically he
Oh, that's
was
how they got
already.
Wally for my man.
Yeah. Because the Gibsons and Tom Sites and them, that Mountain Man was their boy. So they would always send their dogs to Mountain Man. He'd sell them. Everybody came to Mountain Man to buy dogs, man. Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah, that's true. Like Tom Gardner.
Yeah.
Okay, I got Wiley up on the screen, man.
Yeah. And Lester too. That's Lester in them khaki pants there with the green like trail shoes.
Yeah. Let's do who? That's Mountain Man?
Yeah, that's Lester Hughes, Mountain Man.
No.
Yeah. That's just a zoomed in picture where you don't see him. That's me and
Right.
Mountain Man. When Wiley, I brought him down there. Yeah, he
Wiley
had.
looked like I bet he looked good as hell in shape, didn't he, old man?
Hell yeah. How old
Man,
do you
he
think
looked
he
like
is
he
in
ready
that?
for confirmation shit, you know?
How old do you think he is in that picture?
Well, he looked like a young dog.
How old do you think he
What
is?
is about 4?
4?
Yeah.
That dog's like 8.
In that picture?
He's 8.
Oh, you kidding me?
I'm not kidding, man. I'm dead serious. Yeah, he
Yeah,
was old.
he could put him in a confirmation show. He could have won that. I got a question for you, Snipe.
Oh, did they?
It says, Alligator Only Kennel said, how was Richard Pit Dog?
Yeah, I answered that. I told him he was straight ahead, man. Like he had rock spinning, man, and he just trying to chase him down, man. He wouldn't stop. You know, he just like them dogs, man. That's how Cold Cheese was. They just dead ahead dogs. They're just trying to wreck you from jump, nonstop. Put so much pressure on you, you can't keep up with it, man.
Right.
And that's how his dad was, man. Cold Cheese.
Oh, okay.
And then his uncle was Shady Days had him do that champion Jughead. And Jughead was the same way.
Now, to me, Wally is one of those prime examples of. You want to take the stop sharing on that off? Okay. I was looking at Wiley's pedigree, man. Go ahead and break that stuff down for me, man. Hold on. Is that right? We can keep going? Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at Wiley's pedigree with coming off of Fargo.
Yeah, you know that blood.
Now I know the blood. Now I'm gonna tell you the one that I definitely know, that Baby Lively stuff.
Uh-huh.
I remember I think it was P&P's Lively I seen go. That's who I seen go.
Yeah, her grandmother.
Yeah, I seen P&P's Lively go.
Yeah.
Destroyer, man. She was like I would honestly have to say she was like the first pandy I've ever saw. Lively, that bitch was a destroyer. That P&P's Lively,
Yeah.
I seen her wreck one.
So was Baby Lively. You go look at that. They got a video of Mountain Man, and he's starting to go up the hill, and at the very end, you'll see a brown and white dog, and he'll tell you. He said that's one of the hardest biting females I ever seen. Or actually, he said hardest biting dog I ever seen, and she was. She used to jump out of windows and go kill a dog.
She was super hot now.
Yeah, that's what Tom Sites and Mitch told me. She jumped right out the window, broke through a big ass plate window, and went and killed the dog.
And I see you got some of that Mayday blood in you. It ain't Mayday blood. It's the blood that created Mayday, though.
Yeah. Baby Lively and Dolly are half sisters, same dad, different moms.
That's right.
But if you look at the bottom of Dolly, and you go look at that Johnny Walker Red and Champion Lively, it's basically all them dogs that are behind in Red Baby. That's why they took a lot of them dogs and bred them to Red Baby dogs. and that's why it works so good, man. And you know, with the heavy Eli in there with Rocky and Crawdad, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then on the bottom, the Eli's in there through Bose the Venus. If you go back there and look in there, you click on Johnny Walker Red or Lively, one of them, you'll see Bose in there.
I'm gonna tell you what trips me out about this pedigree: the Jeep cross with the Boyles cross.
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen one of them in a while.
Didn't you have Tim on here?
Huh?
Didn't you have Tim Gibson on here talking about them dogs?
Now on this show, I wish I would be able to get Tim Gibson on this
Oh,
show.
I heard. Oh, he went on somebody's show. Maybe it was.
Oh, I would love to have him on this show
Yeah,
because
I think he was on Schoolboys.
yeah, that would have been a good conversation. I know the honey cuss Jolene.
Oh yeah. He knows all them dogs. He's heard all them stories. He's the nephew to Mitch, and Mitch was like best friends with Tom Sykes. And Tom Sykes, I know you guys ain't really heard of these people, but they were like one of the best kept secrets in the South, man. You got some boys in the hills in Tennessee
Oh yeah,
and North Carolina.
Sykes Sampson and them. Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you look in the journals, you'll see from the Sykes collection. You
Yeah.
ever see them old ass pictures in there, and it says from the Sykes collection? Well,
Yeah.
that was him and his
Sykes.
dad. Him and his dad started the journal.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was all because of Tom. Because Tom, as a young boy, going to these matches with his dad, they would like argue and fight afterwards. What color the dog was, what happened, what weight they were at. They'd always forget because they were fucking drunk. You know what I mean? They're just out having a great time. They couldn't remember who the fuck was who. So Tom, as a little boy, always have his little notepad, and he'd write down the weight, the color of the dog, everything. That's basically how the journal started, man. This is way before Jack Kelly, man.
Okay.
This is his dad, you know what I mean? And that's basically how that started, man. You can go look it up.
Well, I give you a little secret of past conversation. Did anybody know that Frank Fitzwater was Frank James, the brother to Jesse James, the Outlaws, the two brothers, Frank and Jesse James?
Oh, he was brothers in it? Nah.
Yeah, Frank Fitzwater was the son of Frank James.
Oh, the son. Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah, Frank Fitzwater is the son to the gangster Jesse James and Frank James. Jesse James was his uncle, and Frank James was his father.
Yeah. Big C asked, did y'all know anything about the Black Pass stuff? I seen quite a few of it in Jersey, man. They had that up in the north.
Yeah, I seen them up in the Buffalo area. I seen them up in the Buffalo
Bemis had them too. I'm pretty sure Bemis had that Black Pass stuff. He mixed it with that blow. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I knew about that when they were trying to put a dog named Kango on him. Yeah, I remember STP was trying to get Kango to go into Black Pass.
Right quick, I want to give a big shout out to Big C coming through with the 2 pigs. Showing the love. Appreciate that, Big C.
Yeah, there was a couple of them in there. But that's a good bred dog right there, man. And
I know, hey, some people will say, "Oh, why is scatterbred, man?" Yeah, but he's not scatterbred. He's loose line bred, dog.
Definitely.
You go look at people don't understand that bottom side, man. They understand the top
side.
I'm
gonna open up the lively stuff first, because I'm gonna go with the 50-50 here. This is a 50-50. The top is for damn sure.
Oh, Fargo.
Mm-hmm.
Or big lively.
Now the comb stuff here on the bottom and shit, I don't know whether that's the same. That's Super Nat Combs, you know, because
Nah,
Combs.
that's a whole
Another.
different. Click on it. You'll see, man.
Okay.
That's got
Click
the
on
Bose blood in it, man. Click on Lively, you'll see. Or you can click on
I
Sam, but
clicked
you'll see.
on Champion Combs Sam.
Okay, you can click on. But she's doubled up this, okay? So you see how you got Scooter in there? Scooter to Polly.
I see that stabber though.
Yep.
So it's definitely line now. It's
If
definitely line on the bottom because I see stabber.
If you look up top, 4 Shopper to Creed's Polly, Bujo Scooter to Creed's Polly. It's the same female. They're half brother and sister. Andy.
Talking about right here, Scooter.
Yeah, Scooter to Polly, and then 4 Oaks Chopper to Polly.
Okay, hold on. Oh, yeah, okay.
It's the same.
Up here at the top.
They're half brother and sister. Combe Sam's breeding is a half brother, half sister breeding.
Oh, okay. So you're talking about right here. You got Chopper being bred to Polly, and you got Scooter being bred to Polly. So that's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah. Half brother and sister.
Half
Andy
brother
and
sister
Holly.
breeding. Okay, Andy and Holly. I got you now. For people,
So
I was
now,
just trying to make sure I could.
all right, now go back. Go back. Click the back button. This is why I wanted you to show.
You're going to go all the way back?
Just one. There you go. Now show Champion Lively.
Baby Lively or just Lively by herself?
Champion Lively.
Well, I'm looking at P&P Champion Lively.
Yeah, daughter. No, there you go. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Here go another half brother and sister breed.
Nah, that's a full brother and sister breed.
Oh, that's a full brother and sister breed. Okay, I see it now.
Champion Lively.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I remember seeing her. I'm trying to remember where we was, but they was on the same car we was on.
Yo, listen, Art from Camelot, man. God rest his soul, man. But he put me on the phone with this old man. I don't even remember his name, man. And he said, son, just tell me the name of them dogs in that pedigree. And I just started naming all them dogs on there. And he said, oh, my God. He said, listen, P&P had 2 yards. They had 1 yard that they would sell and 1 yard they would match. And them dogs came from the match dogs, not the yard they would sell.
Wow. Yeah, I remember P&P and them. They was pretty tough. They messed a lot of dogs. It was hard to beat too.
Hell yeah. They had some great. You couldn't even get them dogs, man. They're match dogs. You couldn't even get them, man. So Chocolate Lively is basically from their match yard. And then they bred her to Cody, Yazoo Cody.
Now, here's my thing. These are Creed dogs. These Creed dogs, these are some of the old family reds in these bloodlines, right?
Yeah. You can click on it. Go on Polly. Click on Creed's Polly. Wise is Maggie. Look at it.
Yeah, I figured that. I seen it coming. I was telling everybody, man, you know, the difference between Golden Boy and Buck was you ain't gonna find this stabber dog and Golden Boy shit. Okay?
Not like that. Not that.
Not like that. This stabber was a key piece of that puzzle. Fitzwater's Goldie and Klaus's stabber.
Yeah.
You know, I go looking through these pedigrees and look, it's a proven fact because Wiley got some polio in him.
Oh yeah. He's got red baby. That's what it's red.
Like Mayday, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? You don't have the red boy there.
He's a lion red baby dog. Because you go behind red baby and look, it's basically very similar to that blood.
Okay. So I'm going all the way back.
And Big C, the first one, they were half siblings. They were half. half siblings, but then the next one he showed they were brother and sister. You can go back to it if you want. You'll see.
Okay. Now tell me where I'm going. Just let me know. I'm going back to where I was.
Click on Chocolate Lively.
Chocolate Lively. Okay.
No, actually, but yeah, there you go. You could leave that. Look, you could leave Lively if you want. It didn't matter. Look, if you go down there and you look at Sam, Sam is off of Andy to Holly. Whitley's Peanut. Oh yeah, that's right. There's the Yankee. Yankee's in there. He's right on that. Yeah, Yankee. But the thing is, Yankee is a littermate brother to Andy. So they bred Andy and Yankee to the same female.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was. Sorry, I stand correct.
Yeah, this is good. To me, this is a good learning tool too. The way they did it's a good learning tool because actually, outside the family red added to this, these are still old family red dogs going into the Eli dogs and the Patrick dogs.
Yeah, with the Corvino in there.
Yes.
Klaus Corvino.
Yep.
That old family red is what it is. And then you go up top and you got the Fitzwaters Goldie, Tombstone Red Baby.
That's right.
Still got Creed's Yankee up there. Yeah. Look, they brought Yankee.
Johnny Walker. He was another bad one too.
Yeah, off of Yankee. And you got Yankee on the bottom in the third. You see that?
Yes, sir.
And then you mix that with the friggin'
now for y'all that don't know those pedigrees that deep and where y'all can just sit there and notice something. If you're paying close attention, you will notice that.
Click on Red Baby.
Yeah.
Click on Red Baby because he's basically a lion bred Red Baby. He has a good amount of Red Baby in him. That's why he looks like them Red Baby dogs.
You know how many times I just showed y'all this pedigree right here.
All right, look at the bottom of her.
Look at the bottom of it. There you go. That's Stabber.
It's very similar to the dogs that are down in that bloodline. And what they did was they were like distant cousins, whatever. They bred that back to that with the Fargo, with the double Dirty Mary up top, double Red Baby, bred to a heavy Eli dog. They did the same cross as what they did at the bottom, just different dogs. So, people don't look, they look at it and they're like, oh, he's scatterbred. You know how many times, if I had $1 for every time somebody said Wiley was a scatterbred dog, I'd be a millionaire.
But he wasn't.
He wasn't at all. He was a loose line bred Red Baby dog. You can look it up with Eli. And some Tombstone. He had some Tombstone in.
And the Tombstone, that's right. Now,
which is totally different than the rest of the stuff.
Now we picked up Red Baby. That was Red Baby's pedigree, but look, let me show y'all bulls. What y'all starting to notice? Look at the colors.
Look, he had the same white chest, Wiley had the white legs, the white socks like that, all the way around the neck.
There goes Supernat Champion Chino. And the reason why I bring this up, because if you're paying attention to the pedigree and the way they're bred, okay, these dogs lead all the way back up to Bucky now, but pay attention to the winners. Look at the winners as we going down through there. Now we started off with Champion Wiley. So Wiley comes out of a pedigree of nothing but match dogs. He just don't have a pretty pedigree. He got a match dog pedigree.
Yeah, there's a lot of winners in there.
A lot of winners. And
listen, Baby Lively's an ROM, man. They just have what was his name? Zulu wasn't a registered grand champion or something.
Mm-hmm.
But and listen, Baby Lively was only bred to two dogs: Mountain Man's Big Jake and his half brother Gibson's Fargo. They're half brothers, and their moms are basically Jeep Rascal dogs, so they're bred very similar. Just they're both out of Red Oak, but bred to two different Jeep Rascal bitches. That's what makes Jake and Fargo, and that's the only two males that got bred to Baby Lively. And that bitch fucking should be a ROM all day. She produced.
Fargo produced Champion Tank, Champion Wiley, Champion Chocolate Soldier, and Gibson's Buckshot, the one-time game loser.
Yeah, I don't know what that. I don't know why they put that up there. But, I mean, okay.
Funny, man.
But there,
But
but
yeah,
there
that's a
was
good.
other there was other one-time winners and two-time winners in there. So yeah,
Right.
Fargo produced too, man.
But
Wiley did
look,
too. Wasn't
yeah,
even didn't even get him out there in good hands. If they'd have been in good hands, he'd be a ROM all day too. It's just something happens, man. Just a lot of people don't know that blood, man.
right.
They know the top side, but they don't really know that bottom side. So they're like, I don't want that blood. What the fuck is that? But shit, let me tell you something, man. This is what they call the hillbilly shuffle. And you can ask Dean and Twin with Jigga now.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, when we went down there, because I went to Arts, we met up at Arts with Jigga to do against Don B, and we went to the Gibsons and with Tom Sykes. This is before he died. So uh, they were telling us what the hillbilly shuffle is, right? So
Mm-hmm.
they would have dudes come up. They tell them, yeah, you just come, bring your dog. You pick whatever dog you want, right? Now, some of these dogs down from that bloodline are spooky dogs, bro. Like when we got Wiley, we thought like Mountain Man beat the dog or something, man, because he was a skittish dog. But years later, that I finally found out it's in their genes, man. It's just in their bloodline. Listen, them dudes would come up with their dog and they'd pull their dog out the truck with her. And Mitch and Tom would be like, yeah, just pick whatever one. You got to be about the same size as yours. So some of them would run in their barrels, right? And stick their head out while some of the dogs be at the end of their chains, rah, 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 going crazy, right? But the other ones would run in their barrels and stick their heads out and look around, right? Wouldn't bark at the end. You know, which one would you pick for money? You picked the motherfucker that ran into that doghouse, right? Or the barrel, right? Stuck his head out.
Right.
You wouldn't pick the one at the end of the chain, and they never did, right? They let him pick it, right? They say, all right, here, the box is right over there. They went right over to the box. He go get the dog. As soon as he get over by that, when the dog saw the box, he turned into the Hulk, man. Muscles would pop out that motherfucker. And the motherfucker didn't act like a skittish dog or nothing, just basically murdered the dog. Just murdered him. And he said they'd be over there.
Set up.
They'd
We
be over there.
call it the hillbilly shuffle.
The hillbilly shovel, because he said them dudes be over there with their mouth drop catching flies. Because they didn't realize they really thought it was a cur dog. And all of a sudden you get that dog in the box and it's a total 360-degree turnaround. It's not the same dog, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of people will see that, you know what I mean? People will come to your yard to buy a dog. You wouldn't buy no dog like that. And I guarantee you, everybody in chat right now, if you went to somebody's yard and saw a dog, you buy the one at the end of the chain. I guarantee it. You would never buy that dog that would run and go in the doghouse and pop his head out. But guess what Wiley did? He ran in the doghouse and popped his fucking head out. And that motherfucker will wreck your shit.
Hey, P Dog, it's crazy you said that, man. We had one back in the day, bitch named Jenny, man. She was heavy off that white oak body shit, that Reno. And
okay.
when we got them dogs from up there, K, you know, they had them on the mountain up there. They had a lot of them. They was very unsocialized. Man, you let that motherfucker go, man. You damn near, man, you had to act the god to catch it. You know what I'm saying? You go out there
Yeah,
try to feed her, she damn near break her neck trying to get away from me. You feel me?
yeah, fuck yeah.
Man,
Them
but you got
motherfuckers, them
if you
motherfuckers will bury your shit in the corner and break the
man,
box.
man,
Tom
when you
Snipes said
put
he
that
had a few of them
motherfucker,
that would
man,
break the
when you put that motherfucker between your legs, man, it feel like goddamn God hit that bitch with a spirit stick,
You're
man.
right.
That bitch,
You're right.
man,
You're right. They turned
man.
into a whole different dog, man. They really do,
Hey,
man.
hey, Wild got you. Where does Wiley rank in your top three? I don't know how big of a yard you had or how many dogs you had. What does Wiley rank in your dogs?
All right.
Meals.
All right. Listen, Wiley was a front end wrecker. He'll hit you from the top of your head to your tippy toes. He never hit nobody. He never hit a dog in the back end, but he was so fast, no dog ever hit him in the back end. So he's just that style. He didn't throw too much of that, but he had no finish. He would just keep
Mhm.
wrecking you. You'd be
Yeah.
laying down. Darren Tupper's dog was just laying there. Sammy Sosa, grand champion freebies brother, that they were talking so highly of. And he just keep eating you up, man. He just keep eating you up. That's the bad thing about him. He didn't have finish. But he actually threw dogs that did have finish. So I couldn't really complain. It just skipped the gen with him. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Man, you can look at that Wiley dog. He looked fast.
Mouth wise, that motherfucker was like a 15. Like he'll break your legs, break your ankles. Don't let him get to your paws, man. Darren Tupper called him a ace foot dog, and that's exact. Yeah,
Yeah.
he called him the ace doctor's soul or some shit. I was dying, man.
Yeah.
But Tupper came right up there, man. I give him a lot of credit. He came right to the backyard. But he left an hour 30 later. But anyway, to get on with Wiley, we got him from Leicester, and then it's so long ago. I don't even remember. We really even. I think we did roll him, but I can't remember. And then we did him with Dr. Mingles with Gator Boys, and he just blew through that dog 17 minutes, man. And he bit that dog. That dog was screaming right from jump, spinning like a helicopter. So a dude that was there, Carlos, the school teacher, not the school teacher that had grand championship, some other dude, but he was there. This is at Nino's, and he called Wiley out. He's like, I got a one time winner to kill him. He's like, yeah, okay. How long ago? He's like an hour 40. You're like, okay. So we hooked them too, and that dog's name was Hunter. And Wiley broke both ankles on that motherfucker in like 30 minutes, and he quit in 35. Even Carlos tried to be sneaky and step over the dog, and he kicked him. Fucking Hunter backed up. He kicked him, and some dogs will take off, but not Hunter. Hunter backed up. The motherfucker's like, hell no, I don't want no more of that. But he did scratch with one broken paw, but not the second one. And then, actually, let me even back up before that. After Dr. Mingles, because he only did 17 minutes, we still didn't know what we really had. He'll wreck your shit, man. I mean, we tried rolling him on the yard, and he'd destroy your shoulder area and them all the way from your forearms down to your paws. And then we were like, fuck that. Even Marty said, he was like, fuck this, we ain't doing this motherfucker no more. So we went down to AZ's in Brick House, and we did him with Benny Blanco Jr., and he had to be at least 10 pounds bigger than Wiley. And we did, I don't know, 40 minutes, 30 minutes, somewhere around there. And he beat up on Wiley. He beat him up pretty bad, man. But Wiley was still there doing his thing, man. And then AZ called up and was like, man, this fucking dog won't fucking come out of the doghouse. We were like, what? He's like, man, we try to feed this motherfucker. He won't. His front end's so wrecked that he won't even get up and move. He's just laying in the doghouse. And told him, you better get them up, moving them. That's how they die, man.
Yeah.
The shit starts shutting down, man.
Yeah, that bitch biting.
Oh
So
yeah.
so 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 it's safe to say Wiley had way more mouth than what's the other one y'all was talking about? Jigga?
I don't know. They're pretty close.
Talk to me then. Let me know. Let me know something.
Jigga's right up there, man. Jigga's
Okay.
right up there, man.
Okay.
But Jigga hits you like Wiley will hit you in that muscle area where Jigga, if you look at Wiley right now, you know where underneath where that chest is, and you get up in that armpit area. You know how you grab your armpit area with your hands. You feel that cartilage there, or ligament, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Jigga bite those, and that's it. Their shoulder's gone. It's just wobbly.
Oh well.
It's gone. One bite. And then he'll switch to the other one. That's what he did to Strictly Business. That dog wasn't even walking like after like 20 minutes. And Jigga didn't really start biting him until like 7 minutes, 10 minutes in. He only bit him for like 10 minutes. That dog he was dead at 20 minutes. He killed him right there. They made us fight a dead dog for like 15 minutes because the scratch was on us, and Jigga wouldn't drop that motherfucker. So.
But Snipe, did y'all know the rule about dead dog?
Yes, I tried to tell Charlie that. Fucking Fat Kid Carpenter. Charlie, that was Strictly Business's fucking ref. We were telling him right there in the pit. Jamie and Todd were both fucking saying, nah, scratch the wind. You got to scratch the wind. And I said, I understand that. But you break the motherfucker off. He's dead. You know he's dead. Motherfucker, the only movement on the dog is the heat waves coming off the motherfucker. That's what I told Jamie. I said, the only movement you see is the heat waves. The fucker is dead. Jigga just wouldn't let go of the motherfucker. Jigga was tossing that bitch around like a rag doll. 20 minutes. And he's
what he's supposed to do is get a mirror. He's supposed to get a mirror or something and declare the dog dead.
Man, listen, we had a blind lady in a wheelchair said the dog was dead. Everybody there knew the motherfucker was dead. You heard it. You heard the pop. Because he broke both them shoulder things, basically. They were wobbling. Then he went to the back end and the Chino dog was trying to get him out, but he couldn't push with his paws to get to the back end. So he's just kind of laying there. Then Jigga said, oh, you want to just lay there? And he left the back end, hit that throat, and you heard it pop. As soon as it popped, I said, there it is. It's over. He's dead. And that was at 20 minutes, bro. And they made us do that for 15 minutes because he wouldn't let go of the motherfucker.
Yeah, that's why you always ask the question before you pick a referee, especially if they hosting. If they're hosting,
we definitely said it afterwards. I went up to Mr. Long, and Mr. Long ref the second one with Don B. We went right to Mr. Long's place with Long's Weirdo. We went right to Mr. Long's place, and he refed it. And I said to him, listen, if this dog is dead, and it is scratch the win, we break off, and if he scratches, he wins, right? And he said, yes. There you go. That's all we cared about. Because we knew he was killing Don Bro's shit. And he did. Like 45 minutes. And to be honest with you, Tim and them, they'll tell you, man, even them dudes down there, Tom Sites, all them, they was all there. Tom had his little booklet just like when he was a kid, bro. But Jigga blew hot in like 10 minutes, bro. I ain't never seen a dog blow this hot, man. His tongue was out and going backwards, bro. And this dog was in such great shape that when I pulled him out the truck, Art from Camelot Kennel was like, damn, yo, that motherfucker's the best looking dog I ever seen tonight. That's what Art told me when I pulled his ass out the truck. I swear to God. Dean was right there. So, but he blew hot, man. I mean, like, I've never seen him blow hot, man, like this, okay? So anyway, whatever. He blew, he was in such great shape, he blew through that within like 10 minutes. Like, he blew hot 10 minutes, really tried to ride the dog out for like 10 minutes. And then when we got from that 10 minutes, when he blew hot, he definitely was like fucking doing whatever he could do to survive until he broke through that heat wall, which took about 10 minutes. And boy, when he started laying that pipe, which was like 25, it was over. 10 minutes later, Don was picking that dog up. Don even got bit, but it was Don's fault. Because Don liked to step, when the dogs are coming at you, he'll put his leg over, like he'll let them go through their legs. You know what I'm saying? You feel me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm on board all that.
Yes, sir.
So when the dogs went between Don's legs, they both went up in the air, man. Straight up in the air. And motherfucking Jigga, for whatever reason, grabbed Don right in the groin area, like in his thigh, in that groin. Grabbed him right there, started shaking Don. Don screaming, "Get him off me! Get him off me!" He shook Don right off his feet. And Don landed on his dog, and then the dog kind of like fell out to the side of him, and Jigga saw him and jumped on him. Jigga didn't even realize he was biting Don. But they couldn't say nothing. They told Don. Don was like, "That's a foul." He's like, "Nah, it's your own fault. We've been telling you. Don't get out of the way. Don't let the dogs go between your legs." So, yeah, motherfucking he was mad afterwards, bro. We went up to shake Don Broad's hand. That motherfucker was like, "Stick it in your ass," and got in his truck and took off down the driveway, Mr. Long's place. We were laughing. We were crying, bro. And listen, man, you gotta understand, these are all fucking city dudes, man. New York City, man. You're talking like Yonkers, Bronx. Telling you, man, she was sick, man. We were down there in the country, bro. That shit was in South Carolina, I think.
Hey, I want to shout out to Hunt Kennels. He said he had a dog. He had a few dogs off of country bred to a red boy bitch. Now you know that's why they were good.
I bet you it was a good guy.
Yeah, because it does work with red boy. We bred Pretty Mama to Buck Rogers, Powder to Buck Rogers, and they had that dog right there, Pharaoh, and he had 3 litter mates in that litter. All 3 of them went into the box. One of them beat me mine.
Somebody mentioned Wind City Combine doing that, where he went to the Deacon and Hunter Red with the Boyles stuff. Listen, they were doing it way before fucking Wind City Combine did that. They were breeding Boyles, Red Boy dogs way before Wind City Combine did it.
Yeah, because I know Windy City he went wild with it. He sure did.
I'm telling you,
some pretty good crosses.
You can see some of that. You go look at that with that Beast dog, not Awesome Beast, the other one, Black Beast, that Diva dog. That's all that same Fargo Baby Lively stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
And they took that to some Red Boy stuff. They're doing that in North Carolina and Tennessee, the mountain areas, because mountain men live like right near the edge up in the mountains, so like North Carolina, right near the state line of Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
He was way out on the west side, bro. I mean, we was on the east side in Jacksonville. I'd never been out that far west, in North Carolina. But yeah, you got to drive up that big ass mountain. I got all kinds of pictures. I don't know what happened to him.
That's a Rasta man. Rasta man live up there in the mountain.
Yeah, I'm telling you, beautiful place.
Yes, it is.
Oh yeah, his family's great.
Hey,
everything, man. We had dinner with him.
I'm sorry. Before I close out tonight, I wanted to just mention y'all. I wanted to talk a little bit about Tom Yard. You know how you be saying he got these, he does go around and find those great dogs, that got his blood in it, and he goes and buy them back.
NASCAR.
Yep, NASCAR is one example. But I just wanted to just bring back to the.
He did it with a lot of dogs, man. He was always doing that, which he was smart. A smart man. Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, go ahead. You go ahead. While I'm doing this, go ahead. I can hear
Nah,
you.
I'm just saying he was a smart man doing that, man. I'd get my good dogs back too and breed the champions.
Fucking right, Tom Smart.
Yeah. He had the money to do that, so you know what I mean. He could do that. Other people couldn't afford to buy all their champions back from, or if they had any. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, who was that? That y'all was talking about that Kunta winning too? That one you seen, Pit Dog.
Wacko. I seen him go against Wacko.
Yeah, Grand Champion
What
Wacko at the time.
was you able to tell whether it was just to look at the either dog conditioning or during the competition? Was it an edge either way before the stifle hoax?
Yeah, Kuza had the edge before they even stepped in there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a bigger dog. And supposedly, I don't know, I heard it afterwards, but who knows? But I guess Wacko ate a leash or a collar or something. I don't know. But he definitely was doing his thing until, like I said, they went stifle to stifle and he came out first. He didn't really, and it didn't go much longer after that, maybe 10, 15 minutes. But
Nice.
they went at it a good 30, 20, 30, just neck and neck. You didn't know who was going to win. Where Rock and Richard, shit, as soon as Richard hit that motherfucker, it was like Wiley hitting that Dr. Mingles dog, man. Rock didn't want nothing to Richard, bro.
He felt that heat.
Yeah. Yo, in the Wiley one, we were down there when he was chasing his shit and he's spinning in a circle and Wiley chasing his ass, trying to get his ass. He said he tried to make Wiley dizzy. And that's basically what Rock was doing to Richard. And Richard just stayed with that pressure, man. But they know him for that, man. Like Cochise, he couldn't bite through a wet fucking paper bag, man. But that motherfucker will fuck his pressure. It's second to none, man. He just put it on you, man. He put Bear on his back right from jump and pushed that motherfucker around like a hockey puck the whole fucking time, man. Couldn't even. They were talking about bring your suitcases, blah blah blah. Motherfucker, I came with a lot of money, man, and all I got, twin. I had to bet 500, my 1,000 to their 500, and I was like, motherfucker, you got the champion, and they were like, you got Cochise. And I said, yeah, you're right. All I got was 500 on that. Can you believe that?
Oh, that's because you was lucky you got a bet. Okay, take it or leave it. But you know what I'm saying? Shoot. I know how they play that game. No, we know who you is.
And then they want to call Wiley out afterwards. Wiley was like 7 years old, I think, with that champion Buster dog he had, work Kennel.
Yeah, that's the one that lost the yellow buck.
Oh, and to clarify things since the last one, yeah, Jigga's what wasn't SDJ. You want to know why? Because Mike and well Jay is the one that got knocked. He was knocked at the time. So if anybody sent in their shit, you were fucking a retard for sending it in.
You sure was. I was telling him that.
So you know, people say, "Oh, well, he didn't have his certificate from the SDJ." I don't give a fuck about the SDJ. Mike was well, really, Jay was, not Mike. Jay was in trouble. Who do you think? You think we're gonna send it in? Are you kidding me?
I mean, they got their hands on the journal. They got their hands on the subscriber list. They had
everything. They had everything. So what do you think? We're gonna keep sending them in? Okay. Yeah, maybe them dumb people kept doing that, but nah.
Yeah. You're right about that. Only the dummies was doing it. They were lucky.
So if anybody, I can tell you this. Hey, I can tell you this. Every motherfucker he beat had a star next to their name, and every referee had a star. And I can name them to you if you want me to. First one was strictly business in 20 minutes, but in the journal 35, but we killed him in 20. And that was Kid Carpenter, star, strictly business, star. Don B, star. Mr. Long, star. Then we went into Latin Connection. Nobody would go into him, man. We called out Champion Ninja, Sammy the Arab. I tried to tell him there could only be one in New York because they were both in New York, and he wouldn't even do it. He wouldn't do it. I went right to his store. He had a pet store in New York. He still wouldn't do it. I called him out. He wouldn't do it. So then we tried to get Destroyer. I had Ray on the phone. Ray like, nope, you got to go to Puerto Rico, man. I was like, well, we ain't got nobody to stay with the dog, so that's not happening, man. He's that valuable. So we didn't go down there. So we had to basically backdoor Latin Connection, Raul, because we called up Raul. He had a 2-time winner, Piranha, the Captain America dog, and he wouldn't do it. So I ended up getting in touch with Jitsi and Lou, which Jitsi was the son of Captain America, Lou. And he said, listen, man, that's my dog. We sold that dog to Raul. He said, you want to hook into that dog? You're going to hook into that dog. You come right to my house. We basically went right to his shit, and Captain America reffed it. And we killed his Piranha dog in fucking like 45 minutes. So if there's a start right there, Captain America, the ref, and Latin Connection at the time got Dog Man of the Year. He was like 35-4, I think, and I wasn't one of the 35. I was one of the 4.
Damn.
Hey, I want to get on this thing with Tom and his line of dogs. You know.
All right, but let me just get with Destroyer. So Destroyer, we tried to get Destroyer, but he wouldn't come. And look what Destroyer does. Anybody could go look it up. He comes to New York for his grand championship. We begged him. We even told Ray. I said, listen, we'll put 10 more on it that he'll be done in 45 or less. And I think that scared him. So they didn't even get nobody to come to Puerto Rico. They came to New York for his grand championship. So to me, that's ducking the dog because Jigga was right there. And I guarantee you, Jigga would have killed Destroyer, 45 or less, all day, every day.
No one was nothing with Jigga like they weren't messing with Pandy. They know them killers.
Yeah. So go ahead. Not. I'm pretty much done with that now.
Oh no, man, I was enjoying it. No, I wanted to
finish. We didn't really finish on Wiley though, but like I said, we went into the Blanco Jr. whatever. We did him after he's a one time. Then we did him with that Carlos, the school teacher. He bust him up. 35 was done. Then that's when Tupper was like, he called out Jughead. Tupper called up Shady Days and was like, yo, we want champion Jughead. Or Jughead was a 2-time winner at the time. That's right. He said, we want 2-time winning Jughead. And I think he had gotten into an accident. So he couldn't go. So Marty was like, hey, man, I got the B team. Because he felt like them Banjo dogs were the A team. Wiley was the B team. He said, I got the B team. And Tupper was like, yeah, let's do it. And he did it. Now, hence, we heard that Tupper put more, was a great conditioner. Anybody in the country would tell you that he's a great conditioner, man. He's coming for real. So we put more work knowing he's coming, with a great keep. We put more work. So we took some of Wiley's mouth out. Because if he'd had the mouth he had in them first 2, Sosa would have never made it to the hour mark. He'd have been wrecked. But he was laying down at the hour mark. And Wiley just kept chewing him up for 30 minutes until he quit. But Sosa quit on all 4. His legs were fucked up, but he quit on all 4. Hour 30. So what else you want from Wiley? You know what I mean? 17, 35, and then hour 30. All against top people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Bulldogging.
And the hour 30 is your fault. So you can't ask for nothing else.
Yeah. It kind of was, but that motherfucker was in shape. And Sosa was trying to kill Wiley, man. That motherfucker, every time he get right in Wiley's throat, try to get in there, Wiley hit him in that muscle cheek and just get him out every time. And Sosa, that's all Sosa had. He couldn't do nothing else. Wiley was too slick. He was too fast. You couldn't do it. And he'll hit you in that head, ride you. As soon as you mess up, he's coming down and wrecking you. And listen, I had a Banjo Vessels bitch, man, and I tried to breed them, and that bitch grabbed Wiley, and Wiley snatched her paw. He crushed every bone in her paw, man. I took her to the vet. Vet said, there's no bones in her paw. I said, what do you mean there's no bones? He said, whatever dog bit her disintegrated her bones. So if you telling me that dog ain't biting, I don't know what to tell you, bro.
Now, can I get on my gardener stuff? My
Right.
gardener thing, guys.
I see you want to talk about St. Benedict's Valley. Is that what you want to talk about?
Yeah, because Tom was, I was enjoying Tom's show.
Okay. Yeah, I see how he's got the gardener stuff up there.
I was checking out Tom's show, and I checked out BUCKCITY show. I was entertained.
Yeah.
I was entertained. I seen two good shows. I was tipping on Tom's stuff because he's right about his gardener dogs. You know what I mean? But here's a gardener dog, y'all, that Tom don't got. It did not come off of Tom, y'all. Actually come off his yard. It came through the hands of some dog men.
Right, other dog. Yeah, that got his blood. Yeah.
Right now, I say this in understanding that this is my KP's work, and I always still call him the modern day Earl Tudor because he is very good about putting dogs together.
Right.
And like I said, we don't do nothing. We breed champions. We don't. If we're gonna breed someone in the yard, it ain't gonna champion because he came off a champion. It's definitely something we produced.
Right.
Now, as you see this dog here, this is champion Buddy Love right here.
Yeah.
Okay. This dog right here, you see his match time. Those are 3 different states.
Yeah.
3 different states. Up north and 2 down there in the Cajun country.
There you go.
Okay, so he definitely went around and got his respect. But if you see how he's bred, these is one of them dogs like he went and sought out.
A Jeep. What I can see so far, Jeep Red Boy Frisco dog, right?
Actually, yeah. I know he's got that Bailey's Bingo in him right here. Yep, that's where you got the Red Boy, Red Boy Jeep cross.
Yeah, with the heavy look. You got ISIS, which is that weirdo, the meanie.
Mm-hmm.
Look at all that. You got just in them readings. You got look at them ROMs, man. To make Valley.
And you see the Frisco down at the bottom. I always say you got to have that one little piece to just change the game.
Mm-hmm. And then they took that dog and bred it to more Frisco stuff.
Yep.
Because it was so much, it's a lot of heavy Eli in there through Jeep, but you got Red Boy through Tabby Girl. But everything else got that heavy Eli.
Now, he bred this dog here. He also bred this dog here. He actually had this dog here.
Click on Revenge real quick.
We had him too.
Click on Revenge. Yeah, Revenge or that mom. Let me see.
Yeah, that's Revenge right there. That's Champion Revenge right there.
Yeah, so you got Frisco on top to all that wild side, and then there you go, all Frisco on the bottom. So that wild side, click on that, like the shotgun.
Renegade. Renegade was a good producer too.
Yeah, Bandit. Yeah, they're both off of Bandit.
Yeah, I seen Rennie. Mm-hmm. Rennie was a good one. Rennie was bred. She was off of Renegade. Yep, that bulldozer
Oh
dog.
no, Weirdo. That's right. Renegade was all banned, not Lucifer.
No,
Lucifer.
Renegade was. I seen Rennie.
Yeah. So yeah, heavy niggerino dogs.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go back.
I
So
just wanted to show you. There's
niggerino.
Renegade, Mountain Man Bandit.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find her right quick. She was a bad one. There go Bulldozer.
Yeah, like I
Well,
said,
he got
man.
all them pages. Oh no, I ain't gonna go
Heavy
through all
Eli.
that pages.
Nah, hell no. That's heavy Eli stuff, man. Line bred
But
Eli stuff.
there she
All
go, Miss Rennie. That's her right there. I seen her go. That's my boy down there. The one Tony Wade, Black Dragon. That's his female.
Yeah, that's very good. Even got the Rufus in there.
Yeah. So he was real good friends with Harry Hargrove.
Yeah.
I mean, they were real good friends. But yeah, she was a good bitch. And they also got a champion off of her when they bred her to champion Tate dog. They put some Red Boy in here with this. They crossed Red Boy into it. Let me see if he's on here. I don't see Tate. There's definitely another Rennie out there because they bred champion Tate, which he was a wild side dog. He was Snooty on the top and Red Boy on the bottom.
Okay.
So they actually made a breeding with this right here to champion Tate and came up with a champion off of Rennie and champion Tate.
There you go.
But see how these dogs is bred here? Nice breeding. Nice breeding. But what I was saying with these dogs, Tom was talking about, how he go around and get dogs. This would be a very hard dog for Tom to get.
Yeah, some he can't get, but others he's gonna get. Like
yeah,
Squeeze.
He would be a real hard one to get.
Like Squeeze, they call him something else, man. I seen Squeeze.
Right.
I seen Squeeze in Florida. Squeeze, no joke. And that was a Gardner dog. He got him back too. What they name him on paper, man? Champion Squeeze. He got a different name. Tom named him something else.
Bobby Peru.
There you go.
That's Bobby Peru. Yeah.
Yeah, I seen Squeeze. I was with Poor Boy and Magic Mike. Yeah, Squeeze ain't no joke.
They do some good ones. This one was a good one. I mean, to me, I don't think Tom got nothing on his yard that's better than him.
Who, that one right there?
Yes, sir.
Squeeze is pretty good, bro.
Bro.
Fuck what you heard.
And I'm telling you what I seen.
I seen what I seen. I seen Squeeze. I seen Squeeze twice.
I'm telling you. Y'all see his dog's times? And every one of his matches, he went into top rank dog. Like you talk about Jigger, I talk about this motherfucker.
No doubt.
I Squeeze would have got his head. He ain't no different than everybody else. Like you talk about Jigger, this dog is nothing to be played with. Nothing.
See that.
When you that confident, the only reason he ain't made grand champions because nobody go into him.
I hate that, man. Same with Jigger, man. And then the other twins too from Newburgh, man, Daryl and Derek. They have one like that Red Boy stuff that Toogie had. That Garrett's little Red Boy stuff. It had that blood, and man, she was a bad bitch. I basically conditioned her and took her into John Fancy Boys, and he had a bitch off of Jake, and this bitch was a face monster, bro. And John talking, like he's standing on the side. I said, John, man, what's up? He said, "Oh man," he said, "Snipe, you done tonight?" I said, "What do you mean I'm done?" He said, "Man, that bitch is a killer." I said, "Oh really?" I said, "Oh." I said, "Have you noticed while you're over here talking that my bitch already took your mouth out?" I said, "There ain't gonna be no killing tonight." And he kind of looked. I said, "You'll see." And she literally took her mouth out with like 2 bites. That killer bitch off of Jake the Snake, and she made that bitch jump the box and motherfucking shit. What was it? 20, 30 minutes, somewhere right around there. She jumped the box. John followed her. John tried to catch that bitch. He jumped the box with her. Yo, and then you know how it gets loud after a match, right? Everybody gets hyped up. They're like, "Oh shit, oh, shit." Right? Exactly. What? So they're all like yelling. I said, "Yo, yo, yo." I'm trying to get everybody to calm down. I'm still holding the bitch, right? I'm still in there. I'm like, "Yo, yo, yo." I said, "Here's a courtesy." You could have heard a pin drop. He was like, "What?" I said, "Yeah, here's her courtesy." I let go of that bitch. She ran right across to an empty corner and then jumped up right where that bitch jumped the box and was like looking around for her. She had her paws up on the top, looking around like, "Bitch, where'd you go?"
Well, I'm back on my Garner shit again, picking on him before a reason.
Okay.
That second one tonight,
What's
he
that?
beat the boys that had that dog of the year, Buck.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
The
he
young
looked
guy.
like he no joke. He looked like he in shape in that picture.
Trust me, he's a good dog. And like I said, my KP, we don't have nothing but killers. We breed killers.
No doubt.
You know, he has everything to do with our dogs. This is something more. It don't have to be Mayday. He's been doing this ever since I known him. You know, putting stuff together. Good way of breeding. He's one of them kind of people to be like, you know, what is the mindset of a breeder?
Click on that bottom, man. I want to know what that Rodriguez was. That Gordo and Townsend. Townsend's Negarino, but what's that?
Yeah,
Rodriguez?
he had her.
Is that Gator? Yeah, click on that black powder. Let me see her. So you got Bougeot on the bottom, and then that Townsend. Broken Arrow. Damn, Broken Arrow.
Yeah, let me just click on Betty.
Yeah, or I was gonna say Gordo because they're both down off of Duke. Yeah, the Cujo, same shit that made the with the Niggerino, same as the other stuff with the wild side. And then look at that Bujo Sam out of Patrick Zachariah to Taylor's 7-time winner Misty. Click on that. Click on Sam real quick. Oh, and then you got Rising Stars Preacher, Fred the Wild Side. Oh yeah, all heavy Eli. Yep, that's all. Look at that. That's that Robertson, Wilson Jr. Yeah, that Robert Miss Boobs. That was some good breeding, man. Yeah, that's beautiful. Beautiful. I'll take that all day. I breed that too, a heavy bolio dog. All right, go back. So now we know. Remember how I told you that I knew Eli.
Dog is up for stud. I've been letting everybody know dog is up for stud AI. And they're only doing AI with them.
There you go. Yeah, I remember when Matt had Bailey. St. Benedict's Matt. Yeah. Yeah,
well,
we knew USA Philly now.
I am a firm believer in and that St. Bentley's Bailey being the new red boy catch.
Yeah, but what was he all red boy? What was
All our
he?
dogs, all our dogs got a little bit of that Bailey's Bingo. I mean that St. Bentley's Bailey in them.
Yeah, it barely all what Jeep red boy, or did it have that
Mm-hmm.
Rufus in there? Click on Bailey again. I've been smoking too much of this. I think it's called bomb sickle or something, man. But this shit tearing me up. Yeah, I remember seeing that motherfucker. Yeah, weirdo Demini. See, it was a Rufus. I told you it was a heavy Jeep with the Rufus.
What? Yeah, my man, when he goes to breaking this shit down, and I know you remember Ruger and Book and Slingshot and Casanova, those dogs, they got that Bailey's Bingo, they got that Tramps Red Boy and Dexter, they got Gardner in them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm just giving y'all ups on Tom. You know, Tom, he's smart dude. And he know what he's doing.
A long time, almost 50 years that motherfucker been doing it, bro. You better know what you're doing after fucking
we ain't Tom. We taking Tom's shit and doing shit with it. You know what I mean? You know, he can't grab this and run back home and sell it to the world. Because I don't think Tom was gonna put the money he would take for him to get that dog. If that dog made more than enough, I know that dude is not hurting for no money to even think about selling that dog for no 20, 50, anything else. I can guarantee you that, because I wasn't all that excited. I was getting out of dogs when I let go of Brat and them. If there had been me staying in, you couldn't. Ken Ransom couldn't get her out my hand.
Yeah.
When the guy who worked hard and put that work in, you know what I'm saying? There's a future in that shit. They gonna work with it. See, this dog here ain't the only shit. He's dead now.
Oh yeah, that dog.
This is something right here.
And the 90s, man.
Yep. This is Sibling. Now they bred Buddy to her, and it didn't take. I always felt like, anytime you breed a dog on roids and you try to breed something right after the fact, it's gonna happen. It's not gonna work. And it didn't work. But it would have been a great breeding. Buddy to her. Because his father and this female here are littermates. And you see again who produced the dog. Look at the bottom. Thanks, Tio, for everything.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
And he's up there in New York where you was up there at, that champion Layla bitch, they thought that she couldn't get whooped. They thought she was the perfect dog to do it. Oh, she went all 52. She ain't all that tough. Okay, let's find out. Yeah. Shit, she quicker than goddamn Duchess did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right. Hey, did you know Long Road in them? Long Road Kennel? Champion. They was up there and I thought they was over there like the Erie, PA. What is that, Ohio area?
Yeah, at West Penn, Erie, PA. Yep, Sam Lambert. That's where they was from.
They had all that Grand Champion Flash blood.
Yeah, doing Ram Flash.
Yeah, Rams Grand Champion Flash. That's what their Long Road. I think her name was Champion Tiny. I seen that bit. That was a good dog.
This Flash, he was up in Michigan. That's where he came from.
And then they had Wiley's half brother up there, Zulu. He's supposed to be a 7-time winner, but they only got.
You talking about? Yeah.
Yeah. I know it was a dude named Nate. All right, there you go. Long Road was from Michigan, he said. See, I knew he was out in that area.
I told you. Yes, especially when you're talking about Ram and them.
Yeah, they probably came over. They came over when I saw them. That's why I was like, no, they're probably Ohio or something like that. But
man, we be from Ohio. I mean, Michigan. We always doing it, man. That was a part of the fast lane game, man. You catch us in Chicago, way all the way over there to Virginia, over there in the you know.
You guys didn't know that guy named Nate? Nate that had that champion Zulu, grand champion Zulu. He was
I heard about Zulu too. I know his pedigree is up here somewhere.
Yeah, Zulu was Jake Baby Lively, where Wiley's Fargo Baby Lively. They're half brothers, but like Jake and Fargo are half brothers, and both moms are Jeep Rascal dogs, so they're bred very similar. So
yeah, we got all kind of pups coming up on these, y'all.
There you go, Buddy Love.
We're gonna be taking that one. This one here, little boy. This is a bad little female right here.
What's that?
This one Russian, one of them imports. You know, he was import.
All right, click on that champion dynamite or whatever. I can barely read it.
Russian stuff.
Click on. Let me see. No. Yeah, that one. There you go.
Yeah, that's him. Roki.
Oh, Tabs dogs. Bred to the Eli. There's heavy Eli. Then you got Red Boy Jocko. Heavy Red Boy Jocko on the bottom. And then Jeep Red Boy on top.
Mm-hmm.
With some Eli in there. I don't know what that Cozina stuff is, but I'll bet you that's fucking. That might be that Bolio stuff. Yeah. But it's up top too. It's in the third generation up top too. See that Maggie?
Yeah, that's him out here doing his norm. Man, you gotta get them imports in here, buddy. We need them imports.
All right, so Red Boy Jocko too. Them boys, Mr. Indian. I thought that might have been Bolio dogs,
but they are Bolio. There go Buck right there. There go Scooter Red right there. Those are Bolio dogs.
Yeah. But I thought Mr. Indian was, but he's not.
Bolio dog.
He's
Scooter Red, Buck.
Yeah. I see them. Yep. That shit's more Red Boy Jocko than anything else.
Mm-hmm. Well, Bolio.
Yeah, it only got a little bit of that Bolio through Nasty. Yeah, Nasty's in there twice, but the rest of it's fucking Red Boy Jocko dogs.
Yes,
with
sir.
Probably a little bit of Eli in there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Way back, but all right, go back.
I wanted to just touch on this a little closer, so you didn't. It's more than that.
Who with Nasty?
We still getting it. See it? We didn't jumped out of the Red Boy G cross, but look, we still adding. There's more.
Yeah, Buck Scooter on the bottom, that Nasty. Yeah, I see it. Yeah,
well,
but still, all right. They did the same thing again. That is the out on that dog right there, and then on the other dog, it was the out too. You understand?
They did a whole lot. Then they added this shit. And we know this old stuff right here, the TJ stuff, Groucho, that's Jocko. Middle Red Man, that's Cunningham stuff.
Yeah, it's all Red Boy Jocko dogs. Yep, yeah, they got some good dogs over there.
Mm-hmm.
Champions. Like, look at them two champions in their third gen. Look at that.
Yeah. Well, they got a lot of them.
And the fourth, so.
Right, you know, if he gonna pick something and bring it home to breed, you know what I'm saying? These are the kind of things that he do. Don't know nothing about him, but you see who the breeder is.
And then that pure blood Benny Blanco, very bottom. What's that?
Which one?
That pure blood Spotty Girl. Click on Spotty Girl. See what that is. See Spotty Girl on the second gen on the very bottom?
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Oh, Mims. Yeah, it's probably more.
Just keep going. It's gonna be Red Boy.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's probably Red Boy.
Red Boy, a little snooty in there too.
Yeah. Red Boy snooty dogs.
I'll do him first. 'Cause, you know, he gonna, it's gonna be Red Boy. Red Boy, a little snooty in there too. Yeah. Red Boy, a little snooty dogs.
Yeah. Red Boy snooty dogs.
I'll do him first. 'Cause, you know, he gonna, it's gonna be Red Boy. They go Little Bill Jr. So got some Little Bill in them.
Yeah, yeah.
But this shit here is the same breeding.
Yeah, yeah.
They added Snooty to this stuff right here. I can guarantee you, I'm pretty sure this dog right here will take me to Champion Tape. Somewhere in there, it's gonna be either a sibling or something. Because I know the Champion Tape was bred off of Snooty bred into some Red Boy dogs. And it was a Carl Mims dog.
Yeah, so you'd have to look at the moms and see who the moms were.
Right. I know Dopey was definitely for sure one of them.
Yeah.
Oh, Dopey, yeah. He was definitely the sire. I just don't know which one he was crossed with, but he was crossed and yeah. Wade's Champion Tape. He was an old snooty Red Boy dog.
Go to his sibling, see if he got another Dopey up there.
Yeah, I was, when I go in there looking for those things right there, man, because they change up. There's probably about 4 or 5 of them there. You know what I'm saying?
It might be.
It gotta be. It gotta be. When I be doing that, I had to be at home sitting there with a cup of coffee. When I have to go searching to put the things together to decide, okay, this is the one I'm going to use instead of the other ones because they're incomplete.
All right.
There you go. That's how it was. Okay, I knew it was something like that. So what Dopey was the little Amber. She was the mama.
Oh, okay.
That's a snooty Red Boy cross.
Yeah, that shit worked. They got some good down from that.
And look how long ago that was. I mean, believe me, man, this was definitely not 2007. This was old. This is when Red Ace was down there in Carolina, down there with Tony.
Yeah, them dogs in the early 90s, man.
Yep.
To mid-90s.
Now they bred Rennie. There's a champion out of this stuff. See where they bred Wade to Rennie?
Yeah.
But I don't see the champion on here, but there's a champion out of this litter. It was a rough ass dog too. When I say rough, this dog was pretty rough.
We lost your man there.
Wait, he dropped?
Yeah, I'm saying.
Okay, he's straight. Came back. He probably popped back up. But that's a snooty Red Boy cross.
Yeah.
There we go. We see Chinaman. There he is.
Nah, we're still on Dopey. I still see Dopey, bro.
Where you see Dopey at?
On the screen.
I got my glasses.
Yeah, Dopey's still on the screen.
Oh, Dopey's still on the screen?
Yeah.
I'm on Perry Junkyard. What you looking at? They're still looking at, okay, it hasn't changed over yet. Hold on, let me share this tab. Yeah, let me share the tab. Can you see it now?
I still see Dopey. I'm looking at what the chat. There you go.
Okay.
Tape. Yeah, tape to Rennie.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's some heavy biters there, boy.
I know there's a champion in that litter. I've seen the champion. Yeah, he's a good one.
And then you got the gameness from that Amber, little Amber.
Mm-hmm. Definitely had a game. The roughness came from that Renegade and Sadie.
The rest of that shit is gonna try to bite you in half.
Mm-hmm. Because Rennie was a tough little female. I got a picture of her.
I don't doubt it.
Beautiful dog. Beautiful black dog.
I don't doubt it. Man.
Kate was a red and white dog. He looked like he looked like Wiley.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah,
They bred Bandit to Chocolate Lively. You go look at Bandit. You go look at this. Well, he probably got fucking 500 fucking.
You are enough.
But I mean, if yeah, they bred.
He was definitely a black. He was a black dog too.
Yeah, they bred him. I think it was Bandit, or it was one of the sons. It might have been Renegade. No, I'm pretty sure it was Bandit to Chocolate Lively, which is Wiley's grandmother.
But I mean, you're gonna find Garner and a lot of good dogs. You know,
no doubt. He did his thing, man. Give him a lot of props, man.
Yeah.
I just, I heard that he had the toxicology thing from the Meister Virgil match, and supposedly, I don't know. I never talked to Tom, but I had heard that they had it and that he got rubbed. So, and what I saw and what I heard from my buddies in Newburgh when they were rolling with Gambler, that their dogs were doing the same shit. And then even Falcon Ray, which went into Virgil before Meister, said his dog acted funny. So, they in roles, the guys from Newburgh were like, he was testing it on us. And I'm telling you, listen, man, they're lucky them brothers didn't come, man. They were like these big, big dudes, man. And Gambler had this dude they called the bodyguard. This dude had a big ass 44 caliber fucking gun and standing there like he was a cop or something. You know how they have that shoulder holster? He had that, man. Yo, they drove them boys around for like hours before that shit. Right? They drove them around for hours, right? Then there was a problem at the water thing, right? Then you come into it and it was so muddy around the outside, they slipped. And they had Virgil in the other corner. Meister's coming in second. He just laid Meister down, and they let go of Virgil. They met in the middle, just like if the ref would say, "Release your dogs." Go look in Fat Bill's journal thing or his Gazette. Go read it. Please find it. Go read it. What it says. And he was standing right there. So, and it says in his thing, I can't tell you exactly what it says. I remember reading it, but basically it said that that Meister got the upper hand on Virgil, like he snuck him in the corner, this and that. No, that did not happen. Yes, Meister slipped Meister was placed in because the guy was slipping as he was trying to get in. And he just set Meister down and they let go and they met right in the middle, just like normal. So for them to put that in the Gazette saying that he was tossed into the box and Virgil didn't see him and he got smashed into his corner, that didn't happen. That didn't happen at all, man. And I seen Meister screaming way over the hour mark in another one, and at like 30 minutes, he walking around like he's not even there. He wouldn't bite him. He was spinning. Come on, man! It don't take a rocket scientist.
But there was several incidences where that was happening with Virgil. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to
tell you. A lot of guys that don't respect Virgil's grand championship.
Nah, that's a bullshit dog. That's why I said if Tom had the toxicology from that, they should have brought that out just like Beeline. You know what I'm saying, man? That shit was all bullshit, bro. Biggest bullshit dog in the game, man. He's right there. Virgil's right there with Beeline and them. I don't give a fuck what Shady Days says. Yeah, Shady Days brought me there, but I got my own fucking 2 eyes, man. You know what I'm saying? I know what I saw. I seen the motherfucker before that. So that's his opinion. He can have his opinion. I can have my opinion. And that's my opinion. They rubbed Meister. point blank. You don't put no big, huge. The dude looked like Brock. Brock, that big wrestler. That's what the bodyguard for Gambler looked like.
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar. That's what he wasn't as big as Brock, but he wasn't too far off from Brock. So believe me, man, he had them there because he thought the brothers to them guys, Crunch Kennels and them, were all bodybuilders. And I think he was afraid they were coming. So I just don't know why they lied and put that in the Gazette like that, because that didn't happen, man. And to be honest with you, I have them all marked down. I have to go get, I don't know where the hell it is because I moved so many times. But I got a notepad with, man, I seen over 100 champions and grand champions. So believe me, I know what the fuck I'm looking at. I've seen enough. You know what I'm saying? And believe me, that dog got rubbed. I don't give a fuck what the other people think.
Well, a lot of people were saying that.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey man, we're gonna have to move this on. We at 127 right now, y'all. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm gonna curry you out again. I'm gonna curry you out again. I'm gonna curry you out.
You can't curry me out. You can't curry me out.
Yo, Mike, tell him. Mike, yo, money, tell him. Yo, I talked to this dude. Listen, chat. I talked to this dude. I got a bust out of you a little bit, Mo. Yo, I talked to this dude so much about shit. Yo, he fell asleep right on the phone. I called him the next day. I said, I made you curve, man. I made you jump the box.
Yeah, he talking. I got his ass hot now because I was like, look, man, you're supposed to have been stopped at 12 o'clock. You and Snipe at it again, doing that crazy shit.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we were doing it the other night, and he was like, Snipe, you got to call in, man. We got to talk like this for the show. And it makes a good show. It does.
It do. When you get to talking, man, we just sit back and be sitting there listening to you like you be sounding like Rasta when you start talking.
Yeah, I had to DJ.
Good old matches. Those were all good matches.
Oh yeah, man! I wish I would have seen Pandy. Man, I never got to see Pandy, but I wish I would have seen that bitch. I seen the other ones though. I seen Gangrene. That was a champion down from that bloodline, right?
Mm-hmm.
Champion Gangrene. There was another one I seen too, but I didn't get to see Pandy though. I'd have loved to.
Well,
I seen dogs all.
She kind of remind you of Jigga.
Oh yeah. Oh, I've heard the stories. Believe me. Anybody remember that guy in Jersey that had the pet store and he had a grand champion? Me and Mo were trying to figure out not Sunny Mean Street, what was it? He had that black dog. And he was a grand champion. I can't remember his friggin' name. He was in Jersey with a pet store. Damn, if y'all say his name, I'll be like, yep, that's him. I'm bad with names.
Yo, man, I got a public announcement. Hey, man, I gotta go home and get some poopy. Is you ready to go home?
Let's go home.
You're done. Can we do this till Friday? Can we just hang in there and do it again Friday?
I'm gonna try. I'm definitely gonna try, man. I've been waiting for the music, man.
I really enjoyed this conversation, sitting back watching your dog, man. I be feeling like, I want to step in there and have my 2 cents to speak up because I'm a midget dog, man.
You sound like hard. You sound like hardcore Mike right now.
Yeah, I look like Shorty Cowboy though.
Jesse Rod, there you go. James Griffin got it. There you go. High five to James Griffin. Jesse Rod, that's who it is. Twin.
Oh yeah, Jesse Rod. Yeah.
That's it. He had the pet store in Jersey. Yep, that's him. His boy is the one that had bought that dog. That I was telling.
Where'd it go, James Griffin?
Yeah, high five, man.
I gotta let this dude go home. He has to go take care of his dogs. So you gotta cut the chains loose, bro. You gotta give up the mic, man.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the music, man. Where's Mike with the music? Let's go, Money. Hit it, Money.
Mike.
What? Why?
Oh man, Mike done went to the preacher side.
Nah, man, I'm still right here. Look here, man. For all my people out there in the Shark Tank, let me show my love again to a man like James Griffin.
Yeah, we salute you guys in chat, man.
Yeah, want to appreciate everybody out there in the Shark Tank, everybody out there on the back street coming to show up and show that love. Big shout out to my man, Game Breaker, and the one and only, you know who he is. We call him the Sniper Man, but it's AKA Pit Dog, my brother, in the house showing the love. Look, fellas, I need y'all to help me out here. I need y'all to help me out and show some love. I need y'all to give me some damn thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Muscles. Now show some love and give me some damn roses. Roses. We need them damn roses.
There they go.
You know what I'm saying? There you go, fellas. Hey, I want to give a big shout out to all my people who, you know, the super chat, show some love.
My pleasure, man.
You know what I'm saying? And I got to give my quick shout outs to my people out here because I know y'all got to talking and showing your love and everything. I wanted to give a big shout out to my man Big C, Melee, 47, SBC in the house showing that love. There's no. Hey, I got to put my man Big C's message. Big C said, Melee, you keep posting that breeding. I knew that stuff back in the day. I'm seeing resurgence of it. You have access to it or something. Big shout out. You know, fellas, when we be talking this shit, we know if you don't get nothing out of this, you can always go back and watch these videos and you're going to just actually start seeing something that's almost uniformity when we start talking about these dogs. That uniformity is what leads to success. You know, it doesn't hurt to pay attention what the other man is doing. That's how you learn. The best learners are the ones that's paying attention. You know, again, I want to give a big shout out. You know, I usually don't bite on other people's shit, but you know, if you haven't seen Buck City's show today, you know, just stop by and take a look at it because he had some things to say about Tom. That's kind of one of the reasons why we brought it up because, again, I don't have nothing against Tom. Tom's a good man. You can tell he knows what he's doing. And if you pay close attention to what our modern day kennel partner, our modern day Earl Tudor, you know, just pay attention because where some people say good dogs are where you find them, well, that only works if you know where to look. So keep that thought in mind. You got to know where to look to find the good ones. You just can't tell me you can walk out and they're going to be everywhere because it just don't work like that.
Yeah, that's like 0.01%. You know what I mean? Like, exactly. I know people think of it like, oh, that could happen to me. Yeah, everybody throw the dice and it's a crapshoot, man.
Right, and we don't. I mean, we gamble in the box, outside the box. That's no, you better come with the best hand, and you better be a strategist to be able to do that. And that's why I felt like it was necessary to speak on this situation because, again, I think, you know, Buck made some damn good points. And for all you newbies out there, you know, pay close attention because, you know, we just putting up pedigrees and we're talking about things, but our conversations are going to be the same based on we're talking about the same things. See, I don't know what the moving forward and what the future is going to look like for these dogs, but I can truly tell you that good dogs still exist. Great dogs only become great in the near future. Now, I say that again. Great dogs become great in the near future. because that's the only time that you're going to be able to look back and respect the body of work that was involved. This game takes dedication and the ability to learn from your mistakes. And if you're really trying to improve the breeding and the salvation of these dogs, pay close attention to what made the dogs worthy of being talked about, especially around here. So big shout out to everybody who showed up to show that love. I want to make sure I get everybody in here before I run up out of here. Vladimir, Irvin, I seen you, fam. Just want you to know I seen you. I gave my shout out to my man Courtney Edwards, longtime supporter. My man showed up. Double M, Desbo, doing what he always do. My man Skip Bill, thanks. Skip Bill, thanks for the super chat, fam. Hey, thanks again for everybody who's showing them roses and that love. Now I know I still got 68-something people in here, and I know damn well I'm supposed to see more than that. Coach Kennels showing that love. I really appreciate you, fam. Come on now. I got 69 people in here, and I need to see more roses, more thumbs up, more of everything. Now, I made this comment at our last show about, I put that link out there, and I need people to show up. Game Breaker came, and he showed up and showed out. You know what I mean? I'm Brother Snipe, as always. Y'all might not know Snipe like I know Snipe, but guess what? This is a real dog man. Been around, he know what he doing, he know what he talk about. He know what it feels like to hold the killer between his legs. He had 2 of them. Like, yo, hear me? You know what I'm saying? So I need a lot of participation. I don't say this for people that just sit back and just listen. If you don't have nothing to do, if you don't have nothing to do, if you don't have nothing to do but hit that thumbs up, that like button, and rose, trust me, that to me, when I see it, that at least shows some type of appreciation and you like what you heard. That's why you're here. So that's not asking much to give back. And then the second thing is, which I know don't nobody do, but for some of y'all, stop by and hit that damn like button. Some thumbs, that thumb button, say, thumbs up, hit that like button, show a little bit of love. Share the video if you have to. But these kind of videos are meant to show you that when it comes to these bulldogs, everybody have a certain way of doing it. But if you pay close attention to how we're talking and what we're talking about, you're going to almost keep seeing the same thing over and over and over, but we're still talking about great dogs. Now, that should make sense to anybody. Tom Garner don't have all the great good dogs, fellas. Buck made that comment. He's not the only one that's got these dogs. They out here. If you actually see our dogs, you're going to see Garner dogs in our dogs. So there has to be a reason. Because you got to admit, man, that Garner shit is working pretty damn good with that Red Boy shit. I'm just saying,
That's Spike.
Yeah. The proof is in the pudding, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
Listen, I look at it kind of like this. I know they're not the same, but they're kind of similar.
Yeah.
Listen, Eli, everybody wants Eli dogs, but it was Bose. It took a daughter of Bose to make Bullison and Eli Jr. and them. And that
Different
was Floyd.
dogs.
Yeah, that was Floyd's favorite dog. Well, they were all blind Billy dogs, but
yeah,
that was Floyd's favorite dog. Bose was a badass dog, man. Bose, I think they had said Bose went with Bullison in a roll. He was like 10 years old, and he held his own with Bullison. And that's Bose. I think he was a one-time winner. But listen, that's the same where people look for the Eli stuff. It's really they're looking for the Bose stuff. And it's the same with him.
Mr. Dennis Oliver, appreciate your love, fam. Say so, Jackson. I see you, fam. Appreciate y'all, man. Cool hands in the house. Appreciate the love, fam. If you else get bad. But look, fellas, as we get ready to shut this some of this down tonight, again, I usually don't be biting on other people's shit, but big shout out to my man Buck City. Hey, fellas, now again, I tell y'all, I put the link down there. I want people to hear other people's opinion. Big shout out to the Shark Tank because they do what they do. You know, sometimes I don't get a chance to see everything because again, I got to keep my eye on Mo. You know, I put him behind the desk right now, and he's learning his way around. So y'all bear with us as we try to figure this thing out. But it's not about how we handling the show. You know, we ain't doing nothing fancy or nothing. But we want you to pay attention to basically what we're trying to give to you, because there's a lot of information coming from some good old dog man who's trying to share the love. Like I said, if you getting it and you understand it, remember the most important thing is you got to always be able to pass it forward. That's the key to anybody's success. This is why we're able to walk on other people's yard and get the things that we were able to get. And if you notice, a lot of old dog man had that ability to get around like that. Not everybody's shiesty. And then for far as people and what they spend when it comes to buying dogs, why would anybody be worried about what another man sell his dogs for? I never understood why that was even a conversation. Because if that was the case, I guess we guilty too. And we don't sell dogs. We don't sell puppies. But when it came time to, guess what? They all sold. So I guess we guilty too. But in the long run, however you play this game, you better look down inside your soul. And if it ain't there, it just ain't there. But if you look deep enough, you'll see what we see. That's why we always. I said we always. You better remember, we always scratch the win. Y'all better act like y'all know and hear where we coming from, but act like you know, because we done told you enough. 339 videos enough. You know what I mean? So until then, man, we'll see y'all Friday. Let me crank this music for my man Snipe before he have a damn fit.
Before Mo passes out.
Yeah, I'm sleeping.
Kick it, DJ.
See y'all Friday. And you got a grandson of Michael Myers. And so do we. Got,
yeah, I see that.
Grandkids of Michael Myers.
There you go.
You know? Hey, but Snipe.
I never seen him. Friday, I heard he was a good dog, man.
I enjoyed you on the show, Snipe. I like listening to you, man.
I barely understand you, man. All I can hear is Michael Myers.
I said I enjoyed you on the show.
You enjoyed me on the show? I enjoyed you too, man.
Yeah. You don't know me.
I don't know you.
You don't know me. I'm Baby Mo. I'm Short Mo.
You sound like you're in a hole, bro.
Yeah, I go around, I sneak around, and I get 3 rides in J-Bo's car.
You sound like you're Shrek's like little cousin or something.
Oh yeah, they call me all kinds of things. You know, I'm scared.
What?
Yeah, I'm just lighting it up before I close it out tonight, since I can't put up the dog in the night. You already know I couldn't find Jigger quick enough. I got no Jigger up there before.
Oh, I heard with something Jigger.
Yeah, I said he was a beautiful beast. He might be my dog in the night.
We can't understand you, bro. It's hard to understand you.
That's why the voice is here, because you're not supposed to.
Turn it down some so we can understand.
Does that sound better?
Nah, a little bit more. That was a little better, but a little bit more and you'd be all right.
say my voice came. It's too loud.
Y'all some funny dudes, man. Hey, man, I thought I was getting some stuff in the mail, man.
What you getting in the mail?
I don't know. Y'all said you was sending me something. I ain't seen nothing.
What you getting in
What?
the mail?
I don't know. Y'all said you were sending me something. Oh, it went silent after that.
Oh, it went silent, didn't it? I said, you said something about what was in the mail. What you said in the mail?
I don't know. Yeah, you guys said y'all sending me. Where's my hat and t-shirt?
Oh, man. Oh, man, let me get my friend back in here so he can talk to y'all. You know, when he come in here.
I'm about to call my cousin Snoop Dogg.
Look, man, I got, man. I'm on some new designs now. We'll probably get it together soon. Like if Mike's wife getting sick, me getting sick, you know, it just kind of interrupted all our little plans of stuff, man, that I wanted to get done. And I still have it. I got David Morris's stuff, you know, and he's one of our biggest supporters. And he's been patient. You know, I might turn around here and get y'all some puppies.
That shit was over
You can't get none. You send them up to the twins. You know, I'm gonna give you a pup to send up there to your boys up there in New York, the twins.
Okay. What happened to the DJ? He fall asleep?
No, he ain't asleep.
Wow.
Here we go.
Get it.
Get it.
Get it. Oh, that's some new Jack shit.
No need to worry about a thing. Just lay your hand in the air and then you shake your booty like you just don't care. I'm out.
Money got some new shit.
Yeah. I just do my Michael Jackson slide back in the room and say, Houston, hey.
This music reminds me of like I'm about to go do some pool hustling. All right, Game Breaker.
Shout out the Game Breaker, he out of here. What y'all done? What you think I thought you were gonna give me a what's up, bro? One with me.
The dog game is dying. Let's talk about the game. The dog game is dying. The dog game is dying. Let's talk about the game first, not the dogs. It's the challenge of the wins, the competitive addiction, the thrill of the win, and the rewards of achievements. Losing only gives you the drive to come back. I learned to watch the winners, my motivation was there, my dedication was evident, now I'm a winner. The problem is the cheating to win, manipulating the truth, and then it's the all outliers. How is this sharing our achievements with liars, cheaters, and bullshitters? We have lost the historical value of the dog game. We can't decipher the real from the fake, the lost is the cost. So I salute these dogs of going hard kennels for all that you've given me in the game.
Let's talk about pit bulls. The history, the breeding, the maintaining and feeding, and the controversies surrounding the great hunts. Come interact with the legends, and ask questions, and listen to their stories as we talk about kennels and dogs of the past and present. Hosted by one of the game's most respected kennels, with over 40 years in the hunt, going hard kennels Twin 1 and Twin 2, dogs like Champion the Debrat, the very first champion off Grand Champion May Day, the Dog of the Year, and Register of Merit. Champion Pretty Mama, 2-time Best in Show and 2-time Gamest in Show. Going Hard's Bay Bay, Register of Merit, Damn to Champion What a Day, Champion Gus, Champion Elrod, Champion Yellowbird. So pull up a seat, and let's talk dogs.